ranks among the top B schools in our country. The Gift City campus holds strategic importance. Situated within India's only international financial services center, it represents a unique synergy between management education, policy making, and international finance. For us, as the founding batch, Arohan is not just an event, it is a moment of pride and a step towards establishing our campus's identity. We are deeply grateful to all our esteemed guests for joining us today.
To commence the inaugural session, we invite our esteemed dignitaries to kindly join us on stage.
As a formal gesture of welcome, we present each dignitary with a plant, an emblem of growth, continuity, and enduring association. We are honored to extend this symbol of respect to our distinguished dignitaries. Ladies and gentlemen, to initiate the welcome ceremony, may I request Dr. Rakesh Mohan Joshi to extend the welcome plant to our chief guest, Shri A. Sharma, Principal Secretary to the Honorable Governor of Gujarat. Thank you, sir. We are honored by your gracious acceptance.
Continuing the gesture of welcome, I once again invite Dr. Rakesh Mohan Joshi to present the welcome plan to Shri Avichal Khera, Senior Vice President, Gift City. Thank you, sir. We appreciate your kind acceptance. We now invite Professor Ashish Pandey to extend the welcome plan to Shri Ashok Kumar Gautam, Managing Director and CEO, IIBX. Thank you, sir. Your presence is truly valued.
To conclude the welcome presentations, may I again request Professor Ashish Pandey to offer the welcome plant to Dr. Rakesh Mohan Joshi, Vice Chancellor, IIFT. Thank you, sir. We are grateful for your gracious acceptance.
We now invite our distinguished guests to share their thoughts with us. Our first dignitary for the inaugural stage is Dr. Ashish Pandey, who holds a PhD in finance from the Department of Financial Studies, Delhi University, and brings with him nearly 2.5 decades of rich corporate and academic experience. He currently serves as a professor of finance and campus head at IIFT Gift City, where his leadership continues to shape the institute's academic and institutional excellence. Over the years, Dr. Pandey had several key academic and administrative positions, including head of research, head of MDP, area chair, finance, IQAC head, case center chairperson, and accreditations head. He also played a pivotal role in organizing multiple international conferences as conference chair and has contributed extensively to scholarly publishing as a journal editor. His teaching interest spans corporate finance, international financial management, valuation, and portfolio management. With over 70 research publications in areas such as asset pricing, corporate finance, and valuation, published with eminent international publishers including Taylor and Francis, Wiley, Elsevier, Springer, and Sage. Dr. Pandey is widely recognized for his scholarly impact. We remain deeply grateful for his continued guidance and vision. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Dr. Ashish Pandey to deliver his welcome address.
This is on.
Honorable, am I audible? Honorable Chief Guest Shri A. Sharma ji, Principal Secretary to Honorable Governor of Gujarat, Vice Chancellor IIFT Professor Joshi, our esteemed guests Shri Avichal Kheda ji, Senior Vice President, Gift City Company Limited, Shri Ashok Kumar Gautam, MD and CEO, IIBX, Dr. Prateek, esteemed dignitaries, faculty colleagues, and dear students. I am extremely happy to welcome you all at the inauguration of this Roundtable Conference on Fragmented Trade Regime in VUCA Global Order, India's Strategic Position. Like our students have introduced, IIFT, though established for over 60 years, and now we are having 4 campuses. But compared to some renowned international universities, we are pretty young and are in our growth stage as of now, if I can say so. IIFT has been imparting quality management education in the field of international business, both to freshers as well as experienced knowledge seekers through its various degree, diploma, and corporate training programs. Internationally, we have been awarded with AACSB accreditation, which is a most prestigious accreditation looked after by any B school. And nationally, we hold 17th rank in NRF ranking, which is again a government given ranking. And I feel this is the apt time to discuss about the theme, and especially in India. As among the major world economies, India is one of the few shining stars today. But interconnected world has its own challenges. And to put things in perspective, let me give you some numbers. US and China, with a GDP of $31 trillion and $19 trillion, combined account for about 45 to 50% of GDP of the entire world. And if there is any jittery in these economies, it is going to shake the entire world. I'll give you some numbers. US with $38 trillion debt and largest current account deficit, which is funded by global capital. High interest rates of 4%, never seen by US for such a long time period. And an aging population with fixed social welfare expenditure. How long it can sustain such high level of debt is a question which one has to answer. In the current fiat currency regimes, one would also have to question how long people will have faith in such system. I'll give you another number. Median monthly mortgages in EMIs in US have increased from $1,000 to $2,100 in last 5 years. If we talk about the stock markets, although US stock markets are about at, their highest levels, but if we look at investors, then people above the age of 70 years right now are holding about 39% of equity and mutual funds in US, which is defying the, broadly investment rule of 100 minus age. Then another interesting number is the bull run of gold. Does it also tell us some story? Generally, gold has rallied in crisis periods, like if we talk about dot-com bubble, which busted, then subprime crisis, and COVID pandemic. These were the years when gold, am I not audible? So these were the years when gold was not, when gold rallied. But what is causing the current rally in the gold is, again, an enigma. Are investors buying gold because they are forecasting some sort of recession or crisis in the near future? Or central banks are buying gold because they are losing faith in greenback? Or is it a pure speculative trade? We like to hear from our guests today about this. Now, look at China. Post its entry in WTO in 2001, China had a great run in international markets and it took over US share by continuously growing at around 8 to 10% for about 2 decades. But if you look at China, is that also their growth is slowing down? Some numbers tell us. There is a slowdown in retail consumption, which can be seen by the inflation rate in China, which is less than 1%. The decreasing demographic dividend. Median working age population of China is 38 compared to 29 for India. And if you look at their property markets, they are also slowing down and return on their infrastructure investments are coming down since 2021. And both these sectors account for about 30% of China's GDP of China. And then centralized economic decision making are, one can say, some of the fault lines in China. But then we all know, apart from Chinese, only God can vouch for their numbers, whether they are true or not. There was a US researcher delegations which went to China and they asked their minister once that, don't you want others to know how generous you are in lending money to outside world? And the reply of the minister was that everyone who needs to know how generous we are already knows it. So this VUCA world unleashed by Trump's tariff war on Liberation Day might be setting a new global order. If we look at Chinese shipment to America, it fell by 15%, but its exports to EU increased by 8%, ASEAN by 18%, and Africa by 25%. Similarly, Vietnam is sending more goods to Europe, India is sending more textile to Middle East, and Brazil is selling more beef to China. At the same time, there are countries which are trying to go into protectionism mode, like Mexico has announced 50% duty on Chinese cars. European Union is also planning to cut steel quotas by half and levy 50% of the duties. But European Union is facing its own problem of rapidly aging population, faster than US. And there is also arm twisting by China and US in terms of dumping goods by China and exploitation of lingering military dependence of US. Then one look at the entire globe, then the average debt to GDP ratio for the world is around 100% as of now. And if we look at matured economies like Japan, it is over 260%. In fact, IMF has said that it has classified 20 African countries as of now, which are at high risk of debt distress. So that is making this world more VUCA world. In terms of geopolitics, out of 20 conflicts faced in 2025, 7 conflicts are still going on. And apart from Russia, Ukraine, India, Pakistan, one has to look into China versus Taiwan, which could be a trigger point for something big by 2027. Now, in this VUCA global order, we are here to deliberate on how India can strategize to take advantage of this turbulence. If we look at India, it could soon be implementing 12 bilateral trade agreements, which would account for about 51% of India's trade and 71% of its exports. And this position of India is totally in contrast to its stance being totally skeptical at about 2003 when it signed bilateral trade agreement with ASEAN to now, when India is the most active country willing to do trade deals. Debt to GDP ratio of India is at around 57% and incumbent government wants to bring it down to 50%. So, I'm just trying to give some points to deliberate upon. Thus, it would be interesting to hear from our speakers about what could be strategic position of India in this current global order. Friends, we would also be having a panel discussion on positioning GIFT as India's global gateway for trade and finance. Now, GIFT City, as envisaged in 2007-8 by our Honorable Prime Minister to become financial hub, like that of Singapore, Dubai, and Hong Kong. It has grown by leaps and bounds with around 1,025 entities being registered at GIFT City today across sectors like banking, finance, aircraft and ship leasing, and capital markets, to name a few. So I would just like to conclude by saying that the reply to VUCA world, this is my personal belief, is what we saw 5 years ago. We have a short memory, but 5 years ago, the entire world was united. And perhaps we would again be realizing it 5 years from now. And the answer would be the spirit practiced and preached by India, which is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. With these words, I once again welcome you all for enriching deliberations ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Pandey, for your inspiring welcome. Your words set the perfect tone for today's proceeding. One of the key architects of India's evolving bullion market framework, Shri Ashok Kumar Gautam, brings over 3 decades of distinguished experience in global treasury and financial market. He has served in senior leadership roles at SBI, Axis Bank, IDBI Bank, with deep expertise in foreign exchange, derivatives, bullion trading, liquidity management, and market risk. His international assignments in major financial centers such as Hong Kong and Singapore bring significant global insights to his work. He has also been associated with institutions like FIMDA and FIDI, contributing to the strengthening of India's financial market standards. At IIBX, he is leading the development of India's first international bullion exchange, enhancing transparency, enabling global participation, and positioning GIFT City as an emerging global financial hub. We are honored to have him share his thoughts with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in warmly welcoming Shri Ashok Kumar Gautam for the special address.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, hello. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Uh, Professor Joshi, Professor Pandey. Sharma ji, thank you for being with us. Such a pleasure. And as you will all know more about him and whatever small interaction I had, we are so happy that he's with us, and I'll also get privileged to listen to him. And Kira ji, thank you. My name is Ashok Gautam. I had the India International Bullion Exchange as MD and CEO. I joined there in 2022. Since then, it is my privilege to be amongst the Gift City community. And I'm so honored that you all have invited me here. Thank you for this opportunity. Uh, so, distinguished faculty of IIFT and other esteemed guests, and also the students who are here. It is a privilege to speak at the IIFT, an institution that has guided India's thinking on global trade for decades. I have a small association with IIFT. When I was in Gift City heading the Treasury and Global Markets, for a few years, I used to be part of the team which will visit IIFT Delhi campus to pick up either summer trainees or the management trainees. So that was my experience, and it was amazing campus. And I'm sure this campus will also come up and live up to the promise which it has made to all of you. Being here at the Gift City campus is even more special as it connects two powerful strengths: IIFT's academic excellence and Gift IFSC's fast growing role in international finance. And I understand the first course which IFT has launched is about international business. Our theme today, Fragmented Trade Regime in a VUCA World, is extremely timely. The global environment is more volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous than ever before. The world is moving from one large open marketplace to many smaller guarded ones. Countries are forming their own groups, creating new trade rules, and putting national security above pure economics. The exchange of goods enables nations to maximize their use of resources and strengths, their competitive position in global market. Nevertheless, these endeavors frequently entail volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, as you all call it, VUCA. For decades, developing countries have seen global value chains as a path to greater prosperity. In fact, we also have been benefited by that. And GVCs have made it possible to climb the income ladder faster by focusing on specific stages of production rather than turning out more complex finished goods. And for a very, very long time, we all were told that let's pick up that particular piece in which we are very good and let the other pieces be done by somebody else. And that is what created the kind of supply chains which gives you the Apple phone in your hand at a price which particularly, and with one point which I have been always making to many people, that ultimately the one who is owning that intellectual property rights makes the most of the money. But still, in this whole value chain, we all have to play a part. So, participation in value chains has many benefits. It accelerates productivity growth and job creation. But now the prospect of global trade policy fragmentation threatens that progress. The reason, striking trade deals on a country by country basis risks weakening the principle known as MFNs, most favored nations. So, in a fragmented regime, countries grant preferential terms to some trade partners but not to others. And if I can use that term, and they may impose some, uh, if I can use what Trump has done to India, I mean, the highest tariff has been imposed on India. So, these are the things which we all have to be very, very alert. So, if your country isn't on the list of favored nations, it doesn't get special treatment. Worse, it gets a treatment which is quite negative to that nation's interest. But that only strengthens our resolve to find newer markets, to improve our own supply chain, to bring down the cost, improve the quality, and ensure that we get access to other global markets, as well as we also ensure that our own market becomes very vibrant and the kind of demand which our demography provides us that accelerates our own economy. The recent GDP growth numbers which have come are phenomenal, 8.2%. And this is only an indication that whatever globally powers may impose on India, India will remain resilient and India will continue to grow. Some of other points which I want to mention is about the implications of fragmented trade policy. The IMF has warned that reduced trade opportunities could hinder productivity, suppress wages, and stifle technology advancement. For emerging economies, the impacts would be particularly devastating. Reduced trade opportunities could undermine industrialization efforts, increase the inequality, and slow poverty reduction. Fragmented trade relationships risk deepening divides between nations, fostering mistrust and competition. In recent years, the geopolitical tension across the globe, as well as the apprehensions amongst the stakeholders after the COVID epidemic, the supply chain disruptions due to various circumstances have led to the VUCA in an ecosystem in the global trade and commerce. This has further led to nations moving away from global value chains to fragmented trade policy and thus creating new roadblocks in the path of emerging economies. I'll just mention some of the points. So the geopolitical tensions across the globe, USA, China. Now we are all talking about the G2 that they are coupling, but I have my own doubts. The USA China relationship have always been little complex, and now they have been more complex in the recent years. This has led to trade and commercial tensions between the two nations. The result of which is that companies have opted for China plus one strategy, and we are one of the beneficiaries of that, where nations have looked at India as an alternate to China for their various supply chain production needs. Another important factor which has just created more uncertainty and volatility is the Russia-Ukraine war. And we all are waiting to find some kind of a solution to it to emerge. This has led to the instability in various regions. It has its unintended consequences, where India, when it was importing the fuel for its own national requirement, we were being branded as if we are being, we are financing that Ukraine-Russia war. While now the Trump has acknowledged essentially that Europe continues to buy more and more fuel or the gas from Russia, and now probably that ire has moved from India to Europe. But that is what our government has been making that point again and again to the global world and on various platforms, that please understand the Europe itself is one of the biggest importers of the energy from Russia. Another important piece which we must all watch for, and it can happen anytime and that trigger can come anytime, is the China-Taiwan tension. China is particularly tricky when it comes to Taiwan, and the way the US is now dealing with each nation only purely on the basis of trade and economics, we will see lot many things happening on that ground, and that will have repercussions on India also. We all have to be very much aware about it. I also want to touch upon climate risk because that is one of the factors which we all have to understand. India, under the leadership of our Prime Minister, has committed for net zero by 2070. Now that is a very tall order, but still, how can we continue on a growth momentum with being sustainable? And India has its own targets, and in Gujarat also we have a large amount of solar uh, farms which are now being set up, and India has taken lead in that direction. For India, deeply linked to global demand and capital, this brings both challenges and opportunities that whatever is happening globally. India today stands at a defining moment. We are among the world's fastest growing economies, powered by a young population and world class digital systems. Our voice carries weight in platforms such as G20 and BRICS. But to turn this strength into long term advantage, especially in a divided global landscape, India needs institutions that are strong, transparent, and globally competitive. I also want to make one point that the policymakers must resist the allure of quick fixes. Instead, they should pursue more inclusive, resilient, and innovative approach. As we navigate this era of uncertainty, let us remember that long term growth is the ultimate prize. To secure it, we must better understand and navigate the interconnected nature of global shocks, concerns of the electorate, and the need for cooperation. The path forward is complex, but the pragmatic leadership which we have and the commitment to shared prosperity, it is within reach. Now, this brings me to the role of GIFT IFSC. The GIFT IFSC has become the strategically important in this whole context. GIFT IFSC provides a stable, predictable, and globally aligned regulatory environment. It has become a hub for international capital, commodities, and financial services, where global banks, insurers, funds, fintechs, and trading firms operate under one common framework. With tax neutrality, unified regulation, and world class infrastructure, GIFT IFSC gives India a safe, efficient, and trusted platform for cross border financial and trade activity. It is not just a financial district, it is India's gateway to global markets. And you all are at the right place. This matters because India aims to become a global center for manufacturing, logistics, and finance. To do so, we must have secure access to commodities, capital, and global markets. GIFT IFSC reduces our dependence on foreign financial centers, protect us from shifting global regulations, help manage supply chain disruptions, and give India a direct role in shaping international trade flows. In this context, institutions like India International Bullion Exchange plays a very vital role. Trust is the most important currency in a fragmented world, and IIBX provides that trust. It strengthens India's position in bullion markets by enabling transparent imports, efficient price discovery, secured settlement, and you will be happy to know that among global first things, we settle every 30 minutes on the clock, all the trades. This has never been attempted anywhere in the world. It helps India move from being a passive price taker to an active price influencer and going forward, the price maker. I have a message for all of you. You will shape India's future in trade policy and global business. You will enter a world filled with uncertainty, but also extraordinary opportunities. Understand global complexity, embrace the VUCA environment, and stay curious. In uncertain times, those who innovate, adapt, and remain resilient are the ones who will lead. To conclude, as the world becomes more fragmented, India must not merely respond to change. We must help shape the global order with strong institutions and clear strategic vision. GIFT IFSC will not just navigate a VUCA environment, it will thrive in it. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Mr. Gautam, for your valuable perspective and enriching our understanding of the theme. We truly appreciate your time and guidance. It is now my honor to introduce Shri Khera, Senior Vice President of Gift City. Every world class financial center is shaped not only by strategic vision, but by the operational excellence that transforms that vision into reality. Shri Khera stands one of the key pillars enabling this transformation within the Gift City ecosystem. With over 2 decades of diverse experience across HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, and Gujarat State Financial Services, he brings deep expertise in credit, operations, banking processes, and institutional enablement. His extensive engagements across these domains have equipped him with a profound understanding of financial system dynamics and the capabilities required to scale them with resilience and responsibility. At Gift City, he plays a pivotal role in strengthening ecosystem coordination, operational systems, and infrastructure support, contributing significantly to the growth and global positioning of India's first international financial centers. We are privileged to have him address us today. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in warmly welcoming Shri Avichal Khera for the keynote address.
Good morning, all. First, I would like to thank the IIFT team, Dr. Ashish Pandey, Dr. Pratik Maheshwari, and Dr. Kaushik Bhattacharya for inviting me as a speaker for the inaugural event of IIFT AAROHAN 2025. Distinguished guests and my dear friends, when I was doing my graduation in 1993, I had exports as one of my subjects. There, we used to study the general agreement on tariffs and trades, which was signed by 23 countries in 1947. The objective of that agreement was to reduce tariffs and remove the trade barriers. Subsequently, the GATT was replaced by World Trade Organization in 1995, and presently there are 166 members in the WTO. So after the US has started the tariff wars, the world has turned upside down. Whatever we had studied earlier has doesn't have any relevance now. So maybe the education institutions would also need to change the course material and include the tariff part in their curriculum. So as a result of the US starting the tariff wars, we are seeing a volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous world today. This term has been derived from the post COVID era in the 1990s, and it perfectly describes the today's global economic and political environment. There are five key changes that we are experiencing, all the economics of the world are experiencing, including India. First is that the global trade dynamics are changing. The tariff tensions have triggered volatility in commodities, disrupted established trade routes, and forced companies to rethink procurement and production strategies. There has been also significant supply chain disruptions because of the tariff wars. It has forced businesses to reorganize supply chains, leading to increased cost and reduced efficiency in global production networks. Many exporters, which were earlier exporting to US, are now looking at other options of exporting to other countries, including Europe, Middle East, Southeast Asia. It has also resulted in inflationary pressures because of the high increase in the import cost because of the introduction of the tariffs. In India, the input costs for electronics and chemical materials have almost risen by 6 to 8% on a quarter to quarter basis after the imposition of the tariffs. Similarly, there has been a tremendous volatility in the currency. Yesterday only, rupee hit 89.87 against the dollar, the lowest since the lowest level. And as a result, because of the inflation, the cost which is accrued as a result of the tariff is passed on to the consumer, and it again results in inflation of the respective countries. There is also a increase in the manufacturing cost because the companies which rely on imports have to pay extra because of the tariffs. US exports by three countries, they were the leading exporters to US, including China, including Canada, Mexico, and China. I will give you an example of China. As far as China, I will give you an example of Canada. As far as Canada is concerned, 90% of their oil exports are to the US. Recently, last week only, their Prime Minister announced that as a result of the tariffs, it will wipe out almost 50 billion of revenues of Canada, which is translates into almost $1,300 for every Canadian. As a result, Canada also has in turn imposed tariffs on the US. They have 25% tariffs on largely steel products, and which they have increased further. As far as India is concerned, as Gautam sir mentioned, the maximum tariffs by the US is on India, which is around 50%. So definitely there has been an impact on India. We can't say that India is remain unaffected. So if you see India's exports to the US, it has fallen sharply by 28.5% between May and October 2025, as aggressive tax tariffs have hit the key sectors. The shipments have also dropped from 8.3 billion to 6.3 billion during this period. The steepest damage has been done to the labor incentive sectors, including gems and jewelry, solar panels, textile, garments, chemicals, and seafood, where the rate of tariff is around 50%. However, amid this turbulence, India still stands relatively better position because of the two key reasons. So, India in 2014-15 had undertaken two key initiatives. One was the Make in India concept, which was launched in 2014, which as a which because we are manufacturing in India, it puts lesser reliance on imports. Similarly, in 2015, the IFSC regulations were laid down by the government. There, the objective was to attract capital from overseas. And as a result, both these initiatives lead to the better balance of payments position of India, which is now, you can see that because of the tariffs, now the balance of payment position is being improved because of these two initiatives undertaken at that time. So, though the export, as far as exports is concerned, India is not doing too well, but because of the domestic consumption, the economic growth has accelerated to 8.2% on year-to-year basis from July to September. Despite the tariffs, the private consumer spending has increased by 7.9%, manufacturing rose 9.1%, whereas construction expanded 7.2%. Now, coming back to Gift City. Gift City, basically, it's a vision of our Honorable Prime Minister. And though the city got the IFSC status in 2011, the IFSC regulations came in 2015, which included traditional regulations like banking, insurance, and capital market, which was again regulated by the regulators IRDA, SEBI, and RBI. Subsequently, in 2020, the unified regulator was created by the government of India after the passing of IFSC Act in 2019, and they have laid down almost 35 plus regulations. They have brought in other regulations into the ambit. So we now have aircraft leasing business happening from GIFT, alternate investment funds, then ship leasing. Even foreign universities have been bought under the IFSC ambit. So as a result, we are seeing a lot of inflow coming to India. In a recent report, there are almost 310 alternate investment funds as on date, and the inflows from India through IFSC has rose to 1.52 billion from 1.52 billion in to 8.37 billion from September 2023 to June 2025. In addition to that, we are the objective of the city was onshoring the offshore business. So we are also seeing a lot of business in as far as banking and insurance is concerned. So we have a banking asset size of almost 100 billion as on date, and 35 banks are operating, out of which 18 are international banks, including HSBC, Barclays, Standard Chartered, MUFG. So a lot of banks are coming to GIFT because of the eased regulations, the incentives that are available in GIFT. The capital market has also shown a significant growth. We have two international exchanges by NSE and BSE, and also IIBX, as sir mentioned, and where the average turnover is almost 89.67 billion. So we are also seeing aviation and ship leasing assets being financed. So almost 303 assets have been leased so far, and We are also seeing traction in the insurance side. So, insurance from the insurance side, when we have almost 22 insurance offices operational in GIFT. As far as TechFin and ancillary services is concerned, the IFSCA has allowed lot of, in the recent regulations, permitted lot of activities, including legal consulting, which have been included, and we have almost 133 entities in this sector. So I would end by saying that GIFT is going to play a pivotal role in ensuring and that we in India navigate successfully through in the present VUCA environment. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir, for your thought-provoking keynote address. Your insights provide great clarity and direction for all of us. Now I introduce Professor Rakesh Mohan Joshi, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, to deliver his address. Professor Rakesh Mohan Joshi is a distinguished academician and one of the foremost voices in India's trade and higher education landscape. His contributions to national policy have been deeply influential. He chaired the UGC Committee on the Entry and Operations of Foreign Educational Institutions, a landmark initiative in India's higher education internationalization. He also led the Export Group, developing India's educational framework for global citizenship, and currently chairs the Business Services Sectional Committee at the Bureau of Indian Standards. His extensive global engagements, collaborative academic initiatives, and decades of impactful research continue to strengthen IIFT's international presence and academic leadership. His widely referenced book on international business and marketing remains authoritative resources for students, practitioners, and policymakers across the world. We deeply value his leadership, his vision, and his guidance. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in warmly welcoming Professor Rakesh Mohan Joshi to address the gathering.
ये नहीं चल रहा है सर, उसकी आवाज़ ठीक नहीं है. Okay. Should I close this? बस ठीक है. Okay, हाँ. Distinguished chief guest Shri Ashok Sharma ji, our highly valued guest Shri Avichal Khera ji, Shri Ashok Kumar Gautam ji, my colleague Dr. Ashish, distinguished guests, my colleague faculty members, and most importantly, our IFT students. It's a matter of, great satisfaction and pleasure for me that this year IFT started its MBA International Business Flagship Program in GIFT City. And it is probably the first program of this sort, and I welcome our distinguished guest, Shri Ashok Sharma ji. Ashok Sharma ji is not only a bureaucrat, he has been the CEO of the Gandhinagar Urban Development Authority and the Ahmedabad Authority. So, he knows, bricks and mortar, how this whole concept has come. So, we are very, honored to have him today. Give him a big hand. And then, the other persons we have got is, Avichal and Avichal ji and Ashok ji. They have been involved in, building up this campus right from its conceptual stage. So I'm sure it's as a matter of satisfaction for you to see this campus growing. So thank you so much for being with us. Very importantly, that IFT as an institute has become more important than never before. आवाज नहीं आ रही है? अरे इसी को छोड़ दो यार. तुम चिंता मत करो, प्रोफेसर की आवाज वैसे आती है. This has more important today than any time before, because we are a trade institute. Nobody, used to talk to us on trade because, the government of India and the state government is very busy in social, well-being. Because if you do social well-being, you get vote. But if you trade, nobody gets the vote. So nobody was worried about trade. Thanks to, and we talk of VUCA. I am sure you thought of VUCA, very complex name. Name is very complex. Volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. So many seminars were held on VUCA for all these tens of years. But I think one stroke of the activity in United States of America, they said that ambiguity today is like never before. Uncertainty like today is never before. And complexity is never before. And central to that is trade. आज तक ट्रेड कभी इतना इंपॉर्टेंट हुआ? Now to contest the elections in India, you need some tidbits. 6,000 rupees free to farmers, some money going to women, some money going to one group. And I think India is amazing. We have devised a system, so no pilferage of money, direct benefit transfer. And all these things were very important. But what is very important is the President of United States of America came to power to improve the economic standard of the people of America so that money goes in their pocket. And he also said how money can go in their pocket. He said if the jobs come to America, he says if the manufacturing come to America, you go to Times Square, you find 85% of the merchandise imported. No domestic production. He said America domestic production is not there. Quote unquote Donald Trump, will not like, I don't want to quote that because he speaks so harsh. America will not be allowed to be raped by the other countries economically. China in 2024 imposed a trade surplus of $1 trillion. United States had a trade deficit of $1.3 trillion. And then he said that if you put tariff is a panacea. Joblessness, put tariff. Inflation going up, put tariff. Manufacturing not doing, put tariff. And ultimately, tariff will give him the vote. People like me and most of us, we grew by talking of globalization. I think one of the esteemed speaker talked about GATT, General Agreement on क्या होता है बताओ? Trade and tariff. And then trade, the basic concept was that you reduce the tariff. If you reduce the tariff, there is welfare. And as a part of globalization and the GATT, I don't want to say that GATT means General Agreement to talk and talk. Nothing happened. Then the WTO came into the existence in 1995. The basic purpose was to reduce tariff and to provide more market access. And the whole concept of globalization was little barrier. So how you reduce the barrier? Tariff is one and non-tariff is another. जो दवा दी मर्ज बढ़ता गया. The import tariff in United States of America 6-7 months before, which were 3%, now on an average is 19%. We talked of the global value chain, GVC, all of us. And everybody used to say that India, economy is not growing because we are not part of a GVC. And international value chain became so complex, so integrated that say one product, any product, is made in multiple countries. I wrote a case study on Barbie doll once. Says a Barbie is made in more than 20 countries. बाल कहीं बनते हैं, आँख कहीं बनती है. A car being manufactured in America travels at least 7 to 10 times between Mexico and Canada. And always trust me, never ever trust your friends. The best FTA, most effective was NAFTA, North America Free Trade Agreement. In the earlier avatar of the present President of America, he said, this is the most, stupid agreement. Only I am quoting him. I don't never say stupid. Only he says. He has got courage to say another president that you are a stupid president. American, हम तो बोलते ही नहीं है ना. We are a high context culture. We take care of other sensitivity, but America does not. We call it a low context culture. Then the whole agreement was US, Mexico, Canada agreement. उन्होंने नया बनाया 18 में. Once I think 24, 25 came, he said, who is stupid, entered this agreement, 25% tariff on Canada and 25% on Mexico. They were the first to be hit. And say Canada, 85% of the horticulture product from Canada goes to America. All supply chain got disrupted in a stroke of the. Then, so I think I wrote a few months back that, the mayhem of trade theories. If you have studied the trade theory, the free trade, the trade theories were, if the trade is free, it's a theory of absolute advantage. A country should specialize in producing the goods in which it produces most efficiently than any other country. Then there was a theory of comparative advantage. If you don't have an absolute advantage, focus on manufacturing the goods where you have a comparative advantage. You can produce better than the other countries. And therefore, the whole concept of trade theory goes. Adam Smith's book, Wealth of Nation, he said that the mercantilist is dead. बहुत दोबारा आ गया. He said only mercantilism, export more, import less, have trade surplus. And trade deficit is, again. And then WTO. WTO came on two pretexts. One, the big, principle of WTO is MFN. एक साहब ने MFN बताया. MFN under WTO is not to favor a nation, but not to discriminate between the two. Donald Trump says discrimination at the top. If you have more tariffs, more trade deficit, more tariff. So what we call as a differential tariff, reciprocal tariff, new terms have come. And all trade agreement which he has signed, zero tariff. While US goods enter to their market, may it be Vietnam, may it be Pakistan, may it be Indonesia, zero tariff. If their goods enter, 19, 20, 25% tariff. And India, मैं न्यूज चैनल कवर करता हूँ 2-3 बार हफ्ते में. So they asked me that, look, how the chemistry between the two leaders, they have a good chemistry. Forget about the chemistry. हैं, वाजपेयी जी ने एक बार कहा था कि सब तो खराब है, मैं तो अच्छा हूं, लेकिन मेरी सरकार एक वोट से जा रही है. तो अच्छे पे 50% टैरिफ. पाकिस्तान 19%. And I am told that Donald Trump said that, we will explore oil from Pakistan and export to India. Pakistan import 85% its oil requirement. मिट्टी से तेल निकाल ही लेंगे कभी ना कभी. And they will export to India. And I am told that, some of the very peaceful countries, Nigeria, Israel, Pakistan. Pakistan is peaceful. Only Americans said that they explored or discovered perpetrators of 9/11 in Pakistan. हमको तो पता भी नहीं उन्होंने क्या किया, उन्होंने तो फोटो दी हमको. So we believed that perpetrators of 9/11 were in Pakistan, but otherwise we consider peaceful. He may not. So they recommended Nobel Prize to Donald Trump. अरे मैंने भी एक दिन लिख दिया उनको Nobel Prize दे दे आप. I wrote in Hindustan Times. है, सारी मुसीबत ही कम हो जाएगी. Because he is so peaceful. And tariff will bring peace. We, all the trade negotiations, the FTA, we are doing a lot of research. No institute is as involved with the government the way IIFT is involved. I have got 170 researchers in our Center for WTO Studies who participate very regularly in our trade negotiations, right, left, up and down. हम लोग करते हैं. And therefore, what is happening is that when so far it was logical. अभी क्या है कि you increase the tariff. Say if you are buying oil from Venezuela, 100% tariff. If you buy oil from Russia, 25% more. And this brings 50% to us. कभी दुनिया में ऐसा हुआ कि तुम उससे सामान खरीदोगे तो हम तुम्हारे को सामान नहीं खरीदेंगे. So I think अविचल साहब, अब चलने का टाइम आ गया, अविचल टाइम खत्म हो गया है. You cannot be static, you need to move. And the strategy has to be dynamic all the time. Because what is good today may not be good tomorrow. एंड पीपुल आस्क मी कि एग्रीमेंट अमेरिका से कब होगा. वी डू नॉट नो कब होगा. आज हो जाए कल हो जाए. ताओ त्से ने कहा है, प्रकृति क्रियमाणानि गुणा कर्माणि सर्वसह अहंकार विमूढ़ात्मा कर्ता अहम इति मन्यते. जो होता है वो ऊपर वाला करता है, हमारे करने से नहीं होता. धरती तो अपने आप घूमती है, तुम चलाते हो. नदी अपने आप चलती है, नहीं चलाते हो. सो एग्रीमेंट आज हो सकता है, एक हफ्ते बाद हो सकता है, 1 महीने बाद, 6 महीने बाद, और नाउ अनसर्टेनिटी टू दिस एक्सटेंट. एंड यू टॉक ग्लोबलाइजेशन. एक साहब ने बताया वसुधैव कुटुंबकम. American economists got Nobel Prizes multiple times on free trade. अच्छा, किया कि नहीं किया? They are the one who are the most protectionistic. Not today, but all the time. अयम निजः परो वेति गणना लघु चेतसाम उदार चरिता नाम तु वसुधैव कुटुंबकम. हम तो हमेशा से ही कह रहे हैं दुनिया, अरे ये मेरा है तेरा है, तो तुम कह रहे हो, हम थोड़ी कह रहे हैं कि तुम पे अलग अलग हमने टैरिफ लगा दिया है. एंड व्हेन यू टॉक टू, ये तो थैंक्स गॉड दैट डोनाल्ड ट्रंप हैज कम, सो आवर मल्टीपल प्रॉब्लम्स गॉट सॉर्टेड. देखो क्या होता है, दुश्मन का दुश्मन दोस्त. व्हेन डोनाल्ड ट्रंप केम, वी इमीडिएटली साइंड एन एग्रीमेंट विद यूके. आज तक नहीं होता. We are very close to signing an agreement with European Union. Signing an agreement with European Union is very, very difficult. 27 countries. अरे दो लोग आपस में बात नहीं करते. 27 countries getting together, getting approval from their parliaments. 27 is very tough task. But we are going to do that. So, you know, strange friends are coming. New supply chains are emerging, and existing supply chains, international, what we call as the value chains or the supply chains, they got disrupted during COVID. They got disrupted between wars. अच्छा, पढ़ने लिखने से अकल नहीं आती, हमेशा याद रखना. अगर तुमको लगता है कि बहुत ज़्यादा रिसर्च करके पीएचडी करके लोग शांत हो जाते हों, वर्ल्ड वार 1 में कम पढ़े थे, दूसरे में और कम पढ़े थे, और अब तो यू डू नॉट नो बम गोइंग हियर एंड देयर एंड व्हेन इट विल. रशिया इसका तो चल रहा है 2 साल हो गए, 3 साल हो गए. अब उसके बाद में आप देख रहे हैं मिडिल ईस्ट, द कंट्रीज विच आर हाईली डेवलप्ड आर ऑल्सो इन द हिट ऑफ द वॉर. उससे पीस नहीं आती है. एंड देन हाउ टू सर्वाइव. अभी आपके टॉपिक को ही टच कर लेते हैं, द व्यूका वर्ड, बट इट इज सुपर व्यूका. कोई नाश्ता ऐसा नहीं होता दुनिया के अंदर, नॉट ओनली इंडिया, जहां पे अमेरिका डोनाल्ड ट्रंप की बात ना होती हो. In marketing, he is amazing. He created such a big brand. And baki people have forgotten what else is happening. But I think always remember, India is amazing. The way India has got its resilience, no other country has got. India, from a country which was dependent on import of food, हम फूड पे डिपेंडेंट थे. शास्त्री जी ने 65-66 में एक बार कहा था कि हिंदुस्तान के खाने की प्रॉब्लम तभी सॉल्व हो सकती है जब हम एक दिन उपवास करना शुरू कर दें. एंड दोज हु आर फ्रॉम बिहार एंड झारखंड एंड ईस्टर्न उत्तर प्रदेश, दे नो, वहां लोग अभी भी शनिवार को खिचड़ी खाते हैं. एंड फ्रॉम दैट वे, when we were dependent on import of the food grains, India has become largest exporter of grain on the earth. We account for 40% of the rice export in the world. When we call the Western expert for our dairy, तो कहते थे कि अरे 1-2 गाय से तो हो ही नहीं सकता. All Westerns said that India can never be self-sufficient in the milk. And Sharma ji is an expert. He will tell you that today India produces 240 million metric tons of milk every month, every year, which is double the milk than the America produce, and more than the entire 27 countries of European Union produce. Not only self-sufficient, and Indian milk is amazing. 1 और 2 गाय से कोई पूरी दुनिया में self-sufficient नहीं हो सकता. And if you see the massive size of Indian dairies is amazing. Our technical expertise is amazing. And India has got an exceptional capability to bounce back from the troubled times. आई वॉज इन ए प्लेस कॉल्ड न्यू ऑर्लियंस. वहाँ एक कैटरीना तूफान आया था, लोगों ने लूट के खा गए एक दूसरे को. हमारे यहाँ किसी तूफान में ऐसा नहीं हुआ. शर्मा साहब कलेक्टर थे वहाँ पे, द्वारका. एक आदमी नहीं मरा उसमें. इट इज नॉट पॉसिबल इन अमेरिका. नॉट ए सिंगल डेथ, नॉट ए सिंगल डेथ. है ना, हम तो गीता के भाषण करते हैं. ही इज वन हु लिव्स भगवत गीता. यू विल नो बेटर. ये मैं नहीं कह रहा हूं, वो पोरबंदर में जब कलेक्टर थे तो गुजराती अखबार ने लिखा था. बिकॉज आई नो संस्कृत, सो आई नो ऑल इंडियन लैंग्वेजेस. तो गुजराती अखबार ने उनके लिए ऐसा लिखा था. पूरी दुनिया में ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता. इट इज इम्पॉसिबल. एंड आवर डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट इज प्रोबेबली बेस्ट ऑन द अर्थ एज ऑन डेट. America does not have got capacity to handle so many people. India with 4.6 billion people. We have got 982 billion people who are the working class. America has got only 1/3. India's fertility rate 1.9 is amazing. 2.1 is the stable, so we are going down. China is 1.1. They will have a tough time. America is 1.6 fertility. India's working age is 29. China 48, America 40. No, China 38, 40. India is amazing. And America, Donald Trump declared English as the national language in America very recently. Do you know who will benefit? India has got 4 times number of English speakers than Great Britain has got, who taught us English. अच्छा बताओ, 1.46 में 20% भी इंग्लिश बोलते हो तो कितने होगा? And average Indian speaks at least 3 languages. America, they know only 1. मेरे को घंटी बजा रहा है. And despite all the things, India bounced back 8.2% our growth. And the prescription to the secret is self-reliance. जब हम आत्मनिर्भरता की बात करते हैं तो लोग परेशान होते हैं. जब वो प्रोटेक्शनिज्म की बात करते हैं तो लगता है वही ट्रेड थ्योरी है. So one thing is, whatever you have learned, control, alt and delete. क्योंकि that will not work. And what will work is in the everyday's time. AI has come, but AI is not the ultimate. जब AI आ गई ना, I was proud of my writing. मुझे लगता है मैं लिखता अच्छा हूँ. जब AI है मुझे कहा ये भी अच्छा लिखता है मेरे से. But when I tried, 10 times poorer than me. देखो छोटा बच्चा होता है ना इंसान का, 10 दिन का होके वो पहचान सकता है कि उसके माँ बाप को गुस्सा आ रहा है, वो प्यार कर सकते हैं. आप the highest AI cannot recognize human, these things. Human has got an amazing capability to forget, which AI does not. हम भूल जाते हैं ना. अच्छा, डू यू नो भूलना ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है याद करने से. जो लोग नहीं भूलते हैं ना, उनको दवा खानी पड़ती है सोने के लिए रोज रात को. तो हम भूलते ही नहीं है. इट्स ईजी टू रिमेंबर बट इट्स डिफिकल्ट टू फॉरगेट. AI does not forget. AI is mechanical, human is creative, and the best computer on the earth, they operate at least 200-300 times lesser than human brain. And India has got human brain. India has got amazing manpower. India has got amazing resolve, and we have got an amazing culture. And therefore, I am sure that we will rebound. And all those who are in IIFT, we have got an amazing opportunity. अभी कल ही मेरे पास वो आया कि I think in the parliament we have to make a presentation on that India-US trade. So all my students, I'm telling you, if you have got any idea, please share it with our research division, because we work with the government very closely, very closely. और इंडस्ट्री में से भी anybody want to cooperate with us on the areas of trade, on the area of international business environment, and we don't only deal with trade, we deal with across. We deal with international trade, international finance, international marketing, international shipping, international logistics, international supply chain. IIFT has grown in the last 1.5 years the way never before. This campus was ideal for last 2 years. We were paying rent with nothing. This year we started, MBA international business. It was a tough decision for me whether to go now or not. तो हमने कहा एक बार शुरू कर देते हैं तो जो प्रॉब्लम होगी देखा जाएगा. And Kakinada also I started this year MBA international business. So all my programs are now AICT approved. All my programs are now UGC approved at all 4 campuses. And we are also going to start in the Expo City in Dubai. I already signed the agreement, I think, a year before. We are going to get that building, the India Pavilion. We are already going it. And I think we are going to start our full-time program next year, next academic year in Dubai itself. So all those, last I met, I was so happy to know that you do ship leasing, you do aviation leasing, you bullions exchange is there, finance is there. So I think IIFT is probably the only institute which matches with the ambitions and aspirations of Gift City and no other institute. They are coming for general education. They are coming foreign universities for getting the students from here. We are Indian. We would remain Indian and will, host the flag of India, not only in Gift City, but across the world. And Gift City has to be a central place from where, we are going to expand into the international market. Thank you so much and namaskar.
Thank you, Dr. Joshi, for your visionary thoughts and guidance. Your guidance truly adds immense value to today's event. Finally, we are honored to welcome our chief guest, Shri A. Sharma, Principal Secretary to the Honorable Governor of Gujarat. A distinguished officer of the Indian Administrative Service, Gujarat Cadre, Shri A. Sharma has served in several key leadership roles within the state government. He is currently serving as the Principal Secretary to the Honorable Governor of Gujarat, a position of high responsibility where he oversees the functions of the Raj Bhavan and acts as the administrative bridge between the Governor's Secretariat and various departments of the state. His professional journey reflects a strong commitment to governance, institutional coordination, and public service. His presence today adds immense dignity to this conclave and underscores the support of the Government of Gujarat towards strengthening the state's academic, financial, and international engagement landscape. We are deeply honored to have him with us this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in warmly welcoming Shri A. Sharma for the inaugural address.
नमस्कार. Am I audible? Last person? No. रख दीजिए इसको यहाँ. Thank you. My senior in Dairy Science College and now the Vice Chancellor of this institute, Dr. Rakesh Mohan Joshi ji, the Vice President of गिफ्ट सिटी अविचल जी, बहुत अच्छी बात आपने कही अशोक जी, एंड द बॉल वाज रोल्ड वेरी वेल बाय प्रोफेसर पांडे. आई एम द ओनली ऑड पर्सन सर. आई बिलोंग टू पब्लिक सर्विस एंड बेसिकली ए काइंड ऑफ, ठीक है, No, I can. एक बहुत अच्छी बात जो पहले मैंने सुनी यहाँ, वो पहले उसकी बात कर देता हूँ, बाद में मैं भूल जाऊंगा. अशोक जी सेड कि ये बुलियन मार्केट यहाँ का है, उसके संदर्भ में उन्होंने बताया ट्रस्ट इज द मोस्ट फ्रेगमेंटेड करेंसी. यही बताया था ना आपने. Why I am starting with that? Actually, trust is the only thing that actually binds two individuals. अमेरिका के पास जो भी हो, चाइना के पास जो भी हो, किसी के पास जो भी हो, मुझे लगता है we Indians, we are endowed with one great character, and that is trust. We are extremely trustworthy. We should remain. अमेरिका की बहुत बातें हुई, सर ने बताया काफ़ी कुछ. सर ये समस्या और कुछ नहीं है. समस्या ये है कि वहाँ के लोग बहुत आलसी हैं और समृद्धि से आलस आते हैं. When you become rich, you become lazy. You don't want to work. Now someone else is working, they're producing, They are producing the things cheaply, more economically. You are envious. So you want to put tariff. वहाँ कितनी भी कंपनी जाएगी, काम करने वाला है कौन हमारी तरह? ये समस्या है. तो हमारे गुजराती में कहावत है, दुखे पेट कूटे माथू. सो उनके पेट में कब्ज है और वो सर की दवा ले रहे हैं. समस्या ये है, यदि मैं ठीक तरीके से समझाऊं तो. वैसे मेरा डोमेन नहीं है. अब वूका से बात शुरू करते हैं. तो मैंने ये जब पढ़ा तो सबसे पहले तो गूगल गुरु से पूछा वूका है क्या, क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ वूका शब्द नहीं आता है एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन में. तो मैं सोचने लगा कि वूका कब नहीं था. Was there an absence of VUCA anywhere in the long span of times? No. VUCA was always there. You have to redefine it. Actually, in physics we used to study, we share common learning, dairy technology, but there we study physics also. There was a term entropy. Now you put all these four together, it will be termed as entropy. So entropy is rising. उसको हिंदी करें, बहुत अच्छा हिंदी है उसका, अव्यवस्था. So lack of order. So when there is lack of order, I don't think it's a challenge, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to set a new order. अब ये बुका की बात होती है तब मुझे स्मरण में कुछ पुरानी बातें आती हैं. जैसे आपने बताया, बहुत सालों से मेरा अभ्यास रहा है, क्योंकि मुझे सोमनाथ में काम करने का मौका मिला. मैं भी आपकी तरह प्रोफेशनल ग्रेजुएट, पोस्ट ग्रेजुएट और ऐसा ही था. बट देन आई वाज पुट टू ए प्लेस फॉर क्वाइट गुड टाइम. तो वहाँ कुछ पुरानी चीज़ें पढ़ना शुरू किया, बहुत अच्छा लगा. मैं एक प्रश्न आपको पूछता हूँ. आपने भगवान राम का नाम सुना होगा. अभी अयोध्या में मंदिर बना. अब कल्पना करिए, he was an exiled prince. He was just about to rise to the throne and then he was thrown into woods. His father died. His mother became widow. He was alone in the woods, jungle, no army, no money, no supporters, nothing, no political power. Not for a day or two. He was there in jungle for 14 years, sir. And then he took this challenge. He traveled across India. Just imagine, आज इतने बड़े बड़े हाईवे और पता नहीं क्या क्या है. He traveled from Ayodhya to Sri Lanka without any power, without any support. He integrated entire India into one fold. And he had an army of, हम बंदर और ये सब कहते हैं, ऐसा नहीं होगा, कुछ उससे अच्छा होगा, क्योंकि उन्होंने रावण को हराया है. But then he could win. Do you know why? What is the essential element of Ram? Why could he do it? क्योंकि उसने हर आदमी को अपने साथ, रास्ते में आने वाले हर आदमी को, हर इंसान को, हर प्राणी को, हर पदार्थ को गले से लगाया. And what was the characteristic of रावण? वो अपने ही लोगों को लात मारता था. लास्ट में उसका सगा भाई, रियल ब्रदर, ग्रेट सेंट काइंड ऑफ पर्सन, राइट पर्सन, वेरी राइटियस पर्सन, ग्रेट कॉन्शियस, विभीषण, उसको भी लात मार दिया. वो आके राम को मिल गया. हम लोग ये चीज को नहीं समझ रहे हैं कि जैसे विभीषण राम से जाके मिलते हैं, द फर्स्ट थिंग राम डज इज एड्रेसेस विभीषण एज लंकेश. सीधा उसका राज तिलक कर दिया. क्यों? सर ये स्ट्रेटेजी है. हम स्ट्रेटेजी की जब बात करते हैं तो उन्होंने उसका राज तिलक कर दिया कि लंका तो तेरी है, मुझे नहीं चाहिए। उसके साथ ही राम ने आधा युद्ध जीत लिया, क्योंकि लंका वासियों को लगा कि राम तो यहाँ देने के लिए आ रहे हैं, अपना ही अच्छा किंग देने के लिए आ रहे हैं, वो कुछ लेने नहीं आ रहे हैं। Krishna, he was born in a jail, right? Was son of king, but then born in a jail, and then he was raised by the herdsmen, ग्वाला, गोपाल। हम लोग दोनों, मैं और आपके वीसी साहब दोनों वैसे ग्वाला हैं सर, हम लोग डेयरी टेक्नोलॉजिस्ट। मेरे पिताजी बोलते थे कुछ नहीं यार, क्या पढ़े तुम, पढ़ पढ़ लिख के बने तो ग्वाला ना। फिर हम बोलते थे पिताजी आपके इष्ट देव भी ग्वाला ही तो है। वहाँ वो पढ़े, उनके साथ बड़े हुए, और up to 11 years of his life he was every day facing the threat of getting killed by then the most ferocious king, Chancellor. And then for entire life he traveled across India. But at the last, do you know what was the age of Lord Krishna at the time of delivery of message of Gita? हम लोग सोच रहे होंगे कि वो कोई 10-12 साल का बच्चा होगा। नो, when he gave the message of Gita, he was more than 80. So for 80 years, he followed certain principles in his life, and then he delivered the message. Come back to the world of nearby history. Mahatma Gandhi, सर उस समय तो वुका की पराकाष्ठा थी। He was a lone man. ठीक है, चलो राम ने और कृष्ण ने तो कपड़े पहने थे, गांधी ने तो कपड़े भी नहीं पहने थे सर। And there is a very, very interesting anecdote. I was going to meet the crown of Britain, and somebody said, you cannot meet like this. You have to put on complete clothes and some kind of attire to meet our king. He did not agree to that. He went as he was. And then king asked him, ऐसे ही कैसे आ गए आप? तो उन्होंने बहुत अच्छा जवाब दिया, हमारे लोगों के पहने के कपड़े तो आपने ही पहन लिए हैं साहब, कुछ बचा ही नहीं हमारे लिए। So these three examples, you can give many examples. It may be, say, Abraham Lincoln, maybe South Africa's Nelson Mandela, or the new business leaders and tycoons, whatever. They are all product of VUCA. They are all product of crisis. So crisis brings excellence. Crisis has always brought excellence everywhere in the world. It has brought excellence in India. It is bringing excellence in India and in the new world order. It's not my optimism, sir. It's a very calculated or intelligent forecast. India will excel and India will emerge as world or global leader, not only in business, but social living as well. Now, the common, when they see the leaders or the victorious people in the times of VUCA, if you see the common, what is common in them? Common in them is character. They had strong character. Now, when we coin the word character, our meaning in our mind is very limited. We limit to a particular aspect of life, social behavior. I was talking to someone, some very senior army officer, and he was associated with selection board, SSBs. I asked him, on what ground actually you select people in army, senior officers? He said very fundamental. He said, we try to judge a person mansa vacha karmana. So whether a person is mansa by mind, vacha means by words, karmana by action, whether he is consistent. Now this consistency is reflected in all the three leaders, Gandhi in particular. He said, my life is my message. I have nothing to tell people, nothing new. And he said, the truth and non-violence are eternal values. He even did not say these are Indian values. He said eternal values. So this mansa vacha karmana character. You see, two types of skills are discussed. Professors, they talk about two types of skills. Hard skills. The skill which has brought up this big building is a skill. I'm using a kind of gadget is a skill. These are all hard skills. But then there are softer skills. Then there are certain very subtle and soft skills. For example, the love, the warmth, the kindness. In India, nobody will publicly call anyone stupid. अपने दुश्मन को भी यहाँ कोई stupid नहीं कहेगा. तो ये जो चीजें हैं, ये these are all very interesting soft skills. But I want my young brothers and sisters to develop one skill that's very crucial, very crucial. It was taught to me by one of my gurus. He asked me one day, Ashok, can you remain thoughtless or remain calm, really calm for an hour? I said, sir, not an hour. You should have asked a minute. Why? Because we observe the things and people with a judgmental mindset. हम लोग जब भी किस चीज को व्यक्ति को देखते हैं अपने आईने से देखते हैं. Can you see the things? Can you observe the things as it is, as they are? This is, I think, the most important skill. I don't know how this skill can be imparted, but sir, this skill is needed. And I want my professors of IIFT to devise the tools and techniques for inculcating this skill in the young generation. Why? Because whenever you are meeting someone, you want to know him, know her. How can you know a person completely? If you observe him unassumingly, without any prejudice or bias, you can know him. And unless you know a person in right spirit, correctly, completely, you cannot deal, I'm using a wrong word, but which has been used several times in this audience, and it will be used 365 days and 24 hours profitably. So unless you know me, you cannot earn profit from me. तो जानने के लिए भी किसी आदमी का निरीक्षण करना, जजमेंटल नहीं. How do you observe a person? Right. So I'm maybe off track little bit. Kindly pardon me, because मैं इसलिए ऑफ ट्रैक हूँ क्योंकि जो ट्रैक है उसके ऊपर मैं कभी चला ही नहीं हूँ. Another thing, beautiful thing, which is very simple, but those simple things, actually, why we don't understand simple things? Because we take it too generally. There is a word called Satyam Shivam Sundaram. I'm not talking about that film of Raj Kapoor and a song and why it was popular, you know. That Satyam Shivam Sundaram is a trio filter. It's very important in business. Satyam Shivam Sundaram is nothing but purity, probity, and beauty. So purity, transparency, ethics, all that. The truth. Satya. So you first put this filter. 100 things are coming to you. You first filter those things. Out of 100 things, only one will pass through the filter of Satya. Then you filter it through another one. Shivam. Simple. Whether it is good to do this, whether it is good to think like this, whether it is good to speak like this. Out of, say, one thing again, 0.1% will pass through Shivam, 0.9% will go away. 0.9 part will go away. And then last is Sundaram. Now that fellow should have said, instead of stupid, the beautiful way of saying it, sir, you are too intelligent. A much better expression than stupid. Very effective. So this Satyam Shivam Sundaram filter is good in communication, is good in business, is good in everything. Now, sir has mentioned about Gita. There at Somnath, I had a lot of time. I used to read, then write and all that. So I've written 7 commentaries on Gita. Jivan Gita, Atma Gita, Rashtra Gita, Vishwa Gita, Management Gita and Manav Gita. There are 7 commentaries. There I could see 2 mantras of Gita in management that I want to quote. The first one, Gita is Anasakti Yoga or Karma Yoga. We have heard of Karma Yoga and Karma Yogis and all that in government communications. Now, Karma Yoga is confluence of 2 things. There are 2 definitions in the 2nd chapter, Sankhya Yoga, 48th and 58th mantra of Gita, 2nd chapter of Gita. First is Yogaha Karmasu Kausalam, the skill, the word skill for a particular thing, particular task, particular situation. There is a single skill, and there he has used word Vyavasayatmika Buddhihi Ekeha Kurunandana. So there is only one thing, that is the key skill. There are not 2 things, only one that you should develop. Another thing, another definition, Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. So skill and Samatvam. Samatvam means equanimity. जैसे मैं कुछ काम कर रहा हूं, मैं फेल हो गया हूं, आई फेल्ड, I don't get disheartened. Actually, I learn from failures. And from my own experience, I want to say, and I think it is the same experience every one of us, the people with gray hair, they will say, failure are the greatest gurus. Success are not. सक्सेस तो वो शराब जैसा है जो आपके दिमाग को बंद करता है, ताला लगाता है, अब हवा में उड़ने लगते हैं, सीखते नहीं, अब ठोकर से ही इंसान सीखता है. So equanimity, the samatvam. Now India is a great, this one of samatvam. Our great guru, our great God, Mahatma Buddha, Bhagwan Buddha, his entire philosophy is based on samatvam. Now no 2 people can be equal. Samanata, it is not possible. There are physiological, psychological, emotional, spiritual, 100 kinds of variations in people. No 2 people, because it's a kind of genetic code. Everyone is having different genetic code. So we are different. So we can't be equal. But समानता नहीं हो सकती, लेकिन समता हो सकती. और समता का मतलब ये है, सिंपल एग्जांपल मैं दूं, मैं और ये बहन हैं, हम साथ में खड़े हैं, and I want her to be equal when photograph is taken. What I will do, I will put a small stool and request her to rise on that stool and she will be equal. That is samatva. This is very important. We have 150 fellow citizens, 150 crore fellow citizens. Forget 800 crores of the world. जब हम यहाँ सोचते हम बैठते हैं तब ये नहीं सोचना है कि हम कौन हैं, क्या पढ़ रहे हैं, किस लिए पढ़ रहे हैं. And that's what Mahatma Gandhi said, great talisman of Mahatma Gandhi. He said, whenever you want to take any decision, keep the last person in your mind. Whether any of your decision will be of any use to that person, do it. And if you think it's of no use to that person, drop it. ये हम सब के लिए, क्योंकि हम लोग सब, we are all highly literate people, we are blessed people, we are endowed with lot of learning, lot of resources, and I'm very proud that I am the part of Gujarat administration and a center of excellence, not only of India, maybe in future this could be, Gift City could be a center of excellence for entire world. I pray to Almighty. So we are all blessed people. I will conclude with the most I think the most living thing for me, which I always has cherished throughout my life, is the word of Swami Ram Tirth. And I want all of you to listen peacefully, reflect upon, contemplate on that, and try to imbibe. He said, मैं भारत हूँ. अपने अभिप्रायों को, अपने ज्ञान को थोड़ी देर साइड में रख लीजिए और सुनिए. मैं भारत हूँ, संपूर्ण भारत. भारतवर्ष मेरा शरीर है. हिमालय मेरा मस्तक है. मेरे सर से हेड से गंगा यमुना ब्रह्मपुत्र बहती है. मेरी 2 बाहुएं, भुजाएं हैं जो पूर्व और पश्चिम प्रदेश है. विंध्याचल मेरी कटी है, कमर है. मलबार और ये 2 हमारे जो ईस्टर्न एंड वेस्टर्न घाट हैं वो मेरे पैर हैं. कन्याकुमारी मेरे चरण हैं. और ये 2 भुजाएं मैंने पूरे विश्व का आलिंगन करने के लिए फैलाई है. He says, ये जो 2 भुजाएं हैं जिसमें मैं सिर्फ द्वारका से दिसपुर, द्वारका से असम की मैं यात्रा नहीं करना चाहता हूँ, पूरे विश्व को मैं अपने साथ लेकर चलना चाहता हूँ. लेकिन अब जो कहते हैं वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है फॉर ऑल माई यंग ब्रदर्स एंड सिस्टर्स. और ये एक बात कहने के लिए मैं आया हूँ. बाकी मुझे और कुछ नहीं कहना था. बाकी बड़े बड़े प्रोफेसर और विद्वान लोग आपको कह चुके हैं, वो परम सत्य है. स्वामी जी कहते हैं कि जब मैं चलता हूँ तब सोचता हूँ भारत चल रहा है. जब मैं बोलता हूँ तो सोचता हूँ कि भारत बोल रहा है. जब मैं सांस लेता हूँ तब महसूस करता हूँ कि भारत सांस ले रहा है. यही प्रैक्टिकल वेदांत है. मैं शंकर हूँ, मैं भारत हूँ. Now somebody will question, why should I use this phrase of Ram Tirth? Sir, this is the core character that distinguishes India and Indians than Americans. This character is there with Japanese. This character is there with Israelis. This character is there with many people of many countries. And that was the basis of their growth. हमें कोई चिंता नहीं है, भारत आगे बढ़ेगा. Skills are there, technical skills are there. I'm also a technocrat, but I have not talked about technology anymore. Why? Because a lot of things have been discussed and my technology, my learning and experience is now obsolete. Now you are much more, as Alvin Toffler has said, in the 21st century, It will not be the person who doesn't write and write, cannot read and write is not ignorant, illiterate. A person who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn is an ignorant person. And I want the senior people who are sitting on the dais to close their ears and not to listen what I am saying now. हम लोग जो यहाँ बैठे हैं ना, we are all illiterate people, because now we have stopped de-learning and learning, relearning. क्योंकि हम लोग सोचते हैं कि हम तो पढ़े लिखे हैं, बहुत पढ़ लिया. प्रोफेसर जो हो जाता है ना, वो अज्ञानी हो जाता है. तो you have great potential, friends. I am always there at your help. I'll be available for anything, small service that I can do on behalf of Government of Gujarat. We are always there to help you. I promise the administration of Gift City and IIFT to call me up whenever there is any small service required. And I am obliged that my senior at the Dairy Science College and my guru, Dr. Rakesh Mohan Joshi, has invited me. मैंने उनको पूछा कि यार मैं आके करूँगा क्या. उन्होंने कहा कोई बात नहीं, आप आ जाना. तो ऐसे ही हम आ गए हैं, आपको मिले हैं. गिफ्ट सिटी के एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन को भी मैंने काफ़ी नज़दीक से देखा है, क्योंकि ये जब डेवलप हो रहा था उसी समय में गांधीनगर अर्बन डेवलपमेंट अथॉरिटी का CEO था, और ये टीपी स्कीम और ये सब बनाने में ईश्वर की कृपा से हमें काम करने का अवसर मिला है. तो इट्स माई ड्रीम, नाउ इट्स कमिंग ट्रू. मैं देखता हूँ कि ये बिल्डिंग बन रहे हैं, और माई ड्रीम इज़ नाउ गेटिंग क्लोजर एंड क्लोजर टू कंप्लीशन. लेकिन वो ड्रीम नहीं है, ये बिल्डिंग गिफ्ट सिटी नहीं है. उसके अंदर जो स्किल डेवलप होगी और उसके अंदर स्वामी राम तीर्थ के शब्दों को सत्य ठहराने वाली स्पिरिट डेवलप होगी, वो मेरा ड्रीम है. थैंक यू ऑल. नमस्कार.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring inaugural address. Your words mark a distinguished beginning to this conclave and will remain a guiding light for all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, as a mark of our respect and gratitude, we now present mementos to our esteemed dignitaries. These tokens symbolize our appreciation for their valuable presence and guiding at this conclave. To begin the felicitation, may I invite Dr. Rakesh Mohan Joshi to present the memento to our chief guest, Shri A. Sharma, Principal Secretary to Honorable Governor of Gujarat, as a mark of our sincere appreciation. Thank you, sir. We are honored by your gracious acceptance.
Continuing with the felicitation, I request Dr. Rakesh Mohan Joshi to kindly present the memento to Shri Avichal Khera, Senior Vice President, Gift City, in acknowledgement of his esteemed presence. Thank you, sir. We deeply value your acceptance.
We now call upon Professor Ashish Pandey to offer memento to Sri Ashok Kumar Gautam, Managing Director and CEO of IIBX, as a gesture of our gratitude for his contribution today. Thank you, sir. Your presence adds a great significance to this occasion.
To conclude the felicitation, may I once again request Professor Ashish Pandey to present the memento to Dr. Rakesh Mohan Joshi, Vice Chancellor, IIFT, in appreciation to his guidance and support. Thank you, sir. We are sincerely grateful for your continued leadership. Once again, we express our sincere appreciation to all our dignitaries for gracing this conclave with their presence.
We now request Dr. Prateek Maheshwari to kindly deliver the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Koina, and Shri A. Sharma Sahib, Honorable VC Sir, Shri Abhijal Kheda ji, Shri Ashok Gautam ji, Professor Pandey. It's wonderful gathering, and I am really privileged to be present to deliver the vote of thanks for the inaugural ceremony for the Roundtable Conference. Shri Sharma Sahib, it's third time I am meeting you. Rather, I should say it's third time I'm taking your blessings. તમે આવ્યા એનો ખૂબ ખૂબ આભાર. તમારી સહજતા બધા માટે પ્રેરણા છે. તમારો આશીર્વાદ બનાए રાખજો. आपकी बुक से सर एक लाइन बोलना चाहूँगा जो आपने मुझे भेंट की थी. राम का नाम लो और राम का काम करो. सो जब भी सर मुझे IIFT गिफ्ट सिटी में डिमोटिवेशन लगता है या लगता है चीज़ें कैसे होगी, मैं बस यही सोचता हूँ मैं राम का काम कर रहा हूँ. Professor Joshi, Vice Chancellor IIFT, sir, it was your constant push which made this event possible. तो आप जब भी सर पहले बोलते थे मुझे लगता था हाँ करेंगे करेंगे, कैंपस चालू हो चुका है, अब हमारा फोकस थोड़ा होना चाहिए रेगुलर बैच पे. Now I realize that why this event was very important and it was your constant push which made it possible. Your special attention to and love for the youngest member of IIFT Gift City family, IIFT family, that is IIFT Gift, keeps us going. Please keep guiding us so that IIFT Gift can contribute to a bigger vision of IIFT. Shri Kheda ji and Shri Gautam ji, sincere thanks from the bottom of my heart for your gracious presence and for insightful words of wisdom to the participants and our students for this roundtable conference. Professor Pandey, thank you for all your efforts you put on a daily basis. I repeat, you put on a daily basis in shaping IIFT Gift City. This event is only a small part of those efforts which you are putting on a daily basis. I am grateful to my colleagues at Gift City, admin staff at Gift City. Your continued support is really appreciable. Dear students, for the first batch of flagship program at IIFT Gift, the journey has just begun. I repeat, the journey has just begun and a long way to go so that you leave behind a legacy for your juniors. And if I want to say in your language, अभी तो पार्टी शुरू हुई है. अपना टाइम आएगा बट ऐसे नहीं आएगा. You have to put efforts to ensure that it comes. Finally, all the participants, Vinod ji, Sudhanshu ji and Ravi ji, KK Maheshwari sir, and all other participants who have joined us for this event, for this inaugural ceremony from various organizations. From your busy schedule, you have taken time for this event. That's really, really appreciable. Let's make GIFT a place of global excellence, and that will only happen when we are together. With these words, Jai Jai Garvi Gujarat, Jai Hind, Jai Bharat. You all are requested to join us for high tea. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your kind words. With this, the inaugural ceremony stands paused for a brief hiatus. We invite all attendees to join us for high tea in the cafeteria and request you to reassemble shortly for the panel discussion at 12:20 p.m. Thank you.
Check, 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 check. Okay. Works. Hello. Yeah. We'll ask Sir to hold. No other option.
Just ask sir, anyone who is handling, ask him to hold this mic in this way.
Yeah. नहीं तो we don't need it right?
या तो फिलहाल
इसको मतलब अभी बीच में आ रहा है ये बहुत वहीं रख देना चाहिए अभी यहीं
let
रख
it be ये mic on है सुनने के लिए.
You can keep it here.
yeah, keep it there.
So here we have a switch. Okay. On off.
अभी यहाँ से चालू हुआ ना.
Welcome back, everyone. We hope you had a refreshing break. We now move to the central segment of AAROHAN, the panel discussion. The theme for today's discussion is Fragmented Trade Regime in VUCA Global Order, India's Strategic Position. In an environment defined by volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, understanding India's evolving strategic position becomes vital. I request all the panelists to please join us on stage as we proceed to the panel discussion.
It is my privilege to introduce our first panelist for the discussion, Professor Rakesh Mohan Joshi, Honorable Vice Chancellor of the Indian Institute of Foreign Trade. To commence the proceedings, may I request our Joint Vice President, Mr. Karan Dua, to kindly offer the welcome planter to Professor Rakesh Mohan Joshi. Thank you, sir, for graciously accepting the symbol of our warm regard. It is now my pleasure to introduce our next panelist for the discussion, Mr. Piyush Kumar Pankaj, Assistant General Manager at the International Financial Services Export Credit Guarantee Corporation of India Limited, Gift City. With over 2 decades of experience in export credit insurance, Mr. Pankaj has played a pivotal role in strengthening India's export ecosystem through innovative risk mitigation frameworks and extensive support to exporters and financial institutions across the Ahmedabad region. His expertise continues to contribute meaningfully to India's trade and financial landscape. We are honored to have him with us today and look forward to his insights. I now invite our Joint Sports Secretary, Mr. Abhishek Tyagi, to present the welcome planter to Mr. Pankaj.
Thank you, sir, for your gracious acceptance. Up next, we have a distinguished expert whose work has significantly shaped credit operations with diligence and insight. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Anil Dangi, Chief Manager and Credit Head, Bank of India, IFSC. With extensive leadership experience across retail, corporate, and global banking operations, including assignments both in India and overseas, Mr. Dangi brings exceptional expertise to credit function. He currently leads credit operations at the IFSC branch with notable rigor, precision, and strategic depth. I now invite our Joint Media Secretary, Mr. Kushal Jambulkar, to kindly present the welcome planter to Mr. Anil Dangi. Thank you, sir, for receiving this gesture with courtesy.
Thank you, sir, for your gracious acceptance. I would like to introduce our final panelist for the discussion, Mr. Mayur Pabri, CEO and President of SmartSense Consulting Solutions. A dynamic business leader, Mr. Pabri has been instrumental in driving technology-enabled consulting solutions within Gift City's rapidly evolving business landscape. His strategic vision, focus on innovation, and commitment to talent development have positioned SmartSense as a key contributor to digital transformation and enterprise consulting. We are honored to have him share his insights with us today. I now invite our joint alumni coordinator, Mr. Ridham Gadia, to kindly present the welcome planter to Mr. Mayur Pabri. Thank you, sir, for receiving this token of welcome. With this, we formally convey our warmth and appreciation to all our esteemed panelists. I would now like to introduce the moderator of the upcoming panel discussion, Professor Kaushik Bhattacharjee. He brings over 16 years of academic and research experience. He holds a master's in business management, a bachelor's in statistics from the University of Calcutta, and a PhD in empirical finance, during which he served as a visiting scholar at the Martin J. Whitman School of Management, Syracuse University. His teaching spans mutual funds, derivatives, fixed income securities, banking and analytics, and research methods, including doctoral level courses for regular and executive scholars. He has published more than 25 papers in reputed national and international journals such as Finance Research Letters, and his case studies are featured in the Harvard, Ivy, and Case Center repositories. He has conducted FDPs in panel data econometrics and financial modeling using SAS, guided several PhD scholars, and previously chaired the Center of Excellence in Banking and Finance, leading major academic initiatives. His background also includes 5 years of managerial experience in private sector banking. We now invite you to lead the proceedings as the moderator of this panel discussion. We look forward to your guidance in shaping an engaging and insightful dialogue. Please, Kaushik sir.
I'll take this one because I think. Thank you, Vena and Atharva. So let's start. So today's topic is, as we all know, that the positioning gift as India's global gateway for trade and finance. So in finance, we say that well-chosen stocks and a diversified portfolio. So I can say in the same line that the chosen panelist with a very diversified panel. So in the same manner, I would just like to brief again, though they know about it, but I will be conducting three sessions, three rounds. First will be that high-level global shifts and India's position. Second will be on industry-specific problems. Then the third will be India's strategic position and role of GIFT. Okay, and without wasting much time, let us start. I will do what I will do. I will put a context first, and I will start with Piyush ji, then followed by Anil Dangi, then Mr. Mayur, followed by our Suresh ji, and lastly, I would like to our VC sir come to VC sir. He will summarize that particular rounds. So I think it is clear to all of us, and let us start. So, sir, Piyush ji, I would like to come to you first. That the post-pandemic world economy is marked by supply chain re-evaluations, inflationary pressures, rebalancing of economic power. These forces are fundamentally altering the flow of global trade. Is it okay? Okay. So, what major shifts do you observe or foresee in global trade and the world economy today, and how these are affecting, how these are evolving dynamics influencing India's interactions with the global markets? What's your opinion on this, sir?
Hello. As far as we see that after the end of the pandemic, a lot of changes has happened because the world was not prepared to deal with such a situation. A lot of business has gone bankrupt or insolvency. A lot of default happened, and means all the infrastructure was gone. Supply chain was stopped, where demand was not there, seller was not there. Means all the stocks were piled up, payments were stuck up. There was no shipments there which can be delivered because shipping line also that channel has stopped. So all these things has put a pressure on the economy, and it has caused a tremendous challenge for all of us. And there is also side by side, we can see that there is the tariff war going on. India and China, means US and China, that confrontation got started. It started, we can see that from during the pandemic period itself, but it deepened. Then again, the war between Russia and Ukraine. So these things actually happened, and this has caused a lot of strain. And at the same time, we see that focus from that globalization now it has taken place. That regional association has been taking place, and now that global world is actually redefining itself because global trade is still there, but that regional preference is there. So this is there. In this scenario, we see that overall how India is prepared. Then yes, of course, we are a democratic country. We have a good relationship with almost all part of the world, except a few. So we can see that we are acceptable to one and all. We have a huge population, means we have huge consumer base. We have a skilled manpower. We have IT database there. So we have a good opportunity out of this, and we see that in the coming days, if we work upon our technology, if we work upon our infrastructure, and we are, means our government is still building a lot of trade agreement with a lot of partners. So we are surely going to lead or get a good lead in the coming future. And we see that we can be a good substitute for China or other countries who are there in their specific commodities. So yes, there is also an opportunity for India, and we have to move ahead in that regard.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Now to Anil ji. The first, maybe let me put the context first. The financial service sectors acts as a barometer for the global economy and sensitive to interest rate changes, capital flows, and trade finance patterns. Your perspective is crucial, sir, in this context. So my question would be, from your vantage point, in financial services, what broad global economic and trade changes stand out to you, and how do they impact India's economic positioning? What is your take on it, sir? Please.
Thank you, Kaushik ji. First of all, I would like to thank the IFT team as a whole for organizing such a wonderful event. And yes, everybody will be taking something from this event. Even I have also taken some inputs from the morning session. So to address this thing from banking perspective, how India is seen from the outside world. We are developing country. So any outside investor want to invest in India? Yes, the answer is yes for today. And we have gained the confidence of many countries. And one proof which you can see is setting up of different IBUs by different countries. Because setting up unit in India, that too in GIFT IFSC, where the ecosystem is developing, how our country is showing the confidence is one of the example. Now coming to what opportunities or what insights our country is having on going forward. See, we have got headroom for our India. That is, we have planning for 2047. We have planning for 2070. So this has created a long pave for us to do so many things. So from the present things are the interest rate regime. So the outsiders, investors wants to invest in India because of various benefits available. The challenges to banking units will be managing the cost of the funds, how better we can raise our resources. That will be always an evolving method. The IFSC banking units which are set up here are competing with international banks. We are also adopting the products which have been there in other countries. So only thing, the IFSC guidelines and the local guidelines of RBI should align us to do in a better way for our competition as well as for edging in an international market. And the another focus area for us is the global chain finance, especially after China plus one and this friendly offshore setting up in India. So like in earlier sessions, our professors were telling we need to unlearn. So for that, first we need to learn. So as an means for IFT curriculum, you need to learn what has happened in past. Then only you will be able to compare and throw upon your insights or inputs for future this thing. So this has given us an opportunity, and you are on the right time. You will be visualizing so many changes happening across counters. Not only a single ministry is working, but various authorities are working upon how we can develop in a better way. Since the Unified Regulator Establishment from October 2020, we have seen various changes in GIFT IFSC ecosystem, and I'm here since July 2023, and I myself have witnessed so many changes, which because when guidelines are in place, when things are in place, then only we'll be able to execute in a much better way. And there is an ample opportunity for people across India to support the GIFT ecosystem, to support the India's international this ecosystem, be it for exporters, importers, or any other financial service. And GIFT IFSC is only the financial services center in India, because when you say it is SEZ, you will be hearing only it is a manufacturing SEZ. So out of 200 plus SEZ in India, GIFT IFSC is only the financial services center system. Others are either they are into manufacturing or allied activities. So what expertise we are going to gain is going to help us in future. And best wishes your future also. Thank you.
Thank you, Anil. Let me turn to Mayurji, Mr. Mayur Pavni. The how do you from that? Yes, yes. Sir. So, from a technology and enterprise perspective, what large-scale shifts do you see shaping global trade and business models today? I'd like to ask you this question. Yes, from your vantage point. Yeah.
First of all, I would like to thank IIFT team for inviting me as one of the panelists. From global shift point of view, from technology, majorly, the shift is more around, there is a real-time visibility into end-to-end supply chain is what the focus is. So how, the entire trade visibility, happens from like the end customer point of view, compliance point of view, and the parties involved. That's the one observation. Second observation is leveraging technology into entire supply chain. For example, let's say leveraging blockchain whenever you are, exporting goods, to other countries where sensitive data is there and you need logs as a compliance. So integrating, emerging technology is the another, area which we have seen internationally. Third area where is more around the data spaces. So for example, in Germany, like a lot of hospitals have started, making a data layer where all the hospital data get access to another party. For example, if there is a processor in India, they get access through them. So these are like some of the shift which I'm able to see from the global trade and the supply chain point of view. Yeah, thanks.
Okay. Thank you. And let me turn to Sureshji. Sir, when you look at global trade and geopolitical changes today, what do you see as the most significant macro trends that are shaping India's economic and strategic choices?
So, firstly, let's look at broadly what are the major changes or major mega trends which are happening. Right? And this is all happening before our eyes. Broadly, you can categorize this into 4 or 5 baskets. One is the technology trend. Right? The AI is completely coming and disrupting what we are all doing. So technology is clearly one major trend which is happening. Demographic shifts. You can see the demographic shifts which are happening across the world. Young age population, old age population across the world. So demographic shift is one big, say, mega trend which is playing out as we speak. Climate change is another big one which we all are facing on a day-to-day basis. Right? Every day we know what the effects of climate change which is happening. And there is this fractured world and there is social instability. So broadly, these are like big mega trends which are playing out in the market. But if you look at it from a global trade and a geopolitical standpoint, what's really happening? Earlier, people were looking at efficiency, right? All the supply chain, everything was kind of structured at efficiency. Now, with all the fight between America and China and other countries, people are trying to rebalance that. Right? They're not really looking at only efficiency or cost. They want resilient supply chain. You should be able to get the goods on time for you to deliver to your customer. If that doesn't happen, then efficiency doesn't really play out. So I think from an overall global supply chain standpoint, there is a clear rebalancing which is happening from efficiency to resilience. That's what one big change I see. And what's happening? It is actually pushing countries to relook at how they are functioning. India is kind of trying to position itself in a neutral manner, because neutrality is now a currency, right, in the global world. Right? If you are neutral and if not leaning from to one side to the other side, it really plays in your favor, and India probably is doing that very well. Secondly, geopolitics, as we speak, that's moved to the center of economic strategy. Trade, tariff, technology, all of that is kind of playing out. Where you buy your chips from, where do you ship, which ports you use to ship your goods, which flag you fly as far as the ships are concerned, all of that are coming to the fore. And lastly, as Mayur mentioned, digitalization. Right? Digitalization is something which is kind of playing out. Digital trade is getting redefined. How goods and service, how data moves, all of that is kind of playing out in the global trade. So I think overall, if you really ask me from an India standpoint, India, this shift, we don't really just have a choice not to respond. We have to kind of look at what these changes are happening, and India is kind of trying to repositioning itself from the overall, say, trade shifts which are happening.
Okay, thank you, and thank you, and then so I would like to turn to VC sir for your summarization, sir, please.
Lenny, thank you so much. The pace of change that we are witnessing now is unprecedented. Things are changing. So I think a lot of things have come that, you started with the supply chain and the disruption of the supply chain, and, Piyush talked about, the realignment of the supply chain. So I think a lot of things we have discussed. Supply chain, what you said is, we started with the COVID and then the war and then the tariffs. So, the products from one or other part are getting, the differently costly and differently, competitive in the market. So two things that we need to learn is, number one, there is no shortcut to efficiency. We need to be efficient for anything, and we need not, keep on blaming the external circumstances. I think the example is how China has grown, because the competitiveness of the Chinese product in the international market is just amazing. They manufacture the product at 1/4 or 1/5 of the cost in which most countries can produce, and therefore even if you impose 25%, 50%, 100% tariff, it does not matter to them. क्योंकि पेन अगर 10 रुपए का बिकता है तो उनकी कॉस्ट तो 1 रुपया है. तुम 100% लगा भी लोगे तो 20 रुपया हो जाएगा, तो वो तो फिर भी उनको प्रॉफिट है. So if you are competitive, then they will not be able to compromise on that. And India, I think we need to have competitiveness, both in production, and more than production is logistics. When you look in the logistics, you find that 90% of the container owned by China. 50% of the shipping is by China. India is nowhere. 2% भी शेयर नहीं है आपका. So I think, all having said that, Mera Bharat Mahan, we need to find out the points where we can do better. We have done better. We would do better. But I think we need the focused intervention. We need intervention in inculcating efficiency in manufacturing. Manufacturing, if you see, India's share is 3.5%. China's share in world manufacturing is 32%. कोई हिसाब है? India with, I think, 18% of the world population, 2.4% of the land area. China, another 18% of the world population. 18% of the world population, almost 1/5 of the world population. 1/5 of the world population share in manufacturing is 3%. China, again 1/5 of world population, the share in manufacturing is 32%. They will automatically export, will automatically import. So, at all the forums where I think we go, especially the international forum, we always say that we are great. but we need to find out where we are not great. And efficiency in logistics. The container shipping price from India to an international destination is more than twice than China. And in business, it is only the efficiency and the money matters. Anyway, India has got certain things better than China. Our digital public structure is extremely good. That, Paytm kind of a scanning was invention of India. Multiple things we have got better. Intellectuals are in India. But Chinese, look at the number of Chinese universities who has got the top grade in the QS ranking. Look at the Indian universities which has got US ranking. So I think we need to identify the issues in manufacturing, the taxation system, and we have done better. But I think miles to go before we sleep. And it is not the time for India to sleep. Until have a target. Look into the China's share in exports you talk of. When India became independent, 1947, China's share in world export was 0.9%. India's share in world export was 2.54%. With all the efforts, we brought down to India's share by 84 to 0.9%. India's share in world export is 1.8%. At the most 2%, 1.92. China's share in world export is 14%. America's share in world export is 8%. So there is a German saying, when everybody is going forward and you are standing still, you are automatically going backward. So I think we need to leverage it, and Gift City is a great idea to do it. It's good, but we need to multiply Gift Cities across. And then IIFT, most relevant institute as on date. IIMs teach only general. We teach what is required contemporary. We talk about trade, we talk about globalization, we talk about how to respond to the present day situation. And therefore, my only thing is efficiency in everything we do, efficiency in working, efficiency in taxation, efficiency in the processes, efficiency in the customs clearance, efficiency in the logistics management, efficiency in the financial system, efficiency in availability of the finance to the needy, and then efficiency in recovering the loan also, so that banks don't build up NPAs. Not only that, you keep on giving it. So I think multiple things we have to do and make a target that let's have a share in exports to 14% if China can have it. Let's have share in manufacturing to 32%. And I think so. A lot of challenges, things have changed. So only thing that how we have to navigate through this is that I think we need to work constantly to the change. We need to work to reshape our strategy constantly and keep pace with the changing environment. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. With this, I move on to the round 2, which is our industry-specific implications. So again, I will start with Piyush. Sir, in today's increasingly fragmented global trade environment, how do you see geopolitical volatility and shifting trade alliances reshaping risk perception for Indian exporters in specific? What is the implications for Indian exporters, because you are financing exports?
So wherever there is trade, there is risk, and where there is credit, there is risk. So if the credit is on advance payment, so there is no risk. But once it shifts from advance to some riskier terms of payment like advance to DP, CAD or DA, then also the usance period changes from 30 days to 60, 90 and 180 days. So the risk also goes from 1 degree to 90 degree or 180 degree. So why the risk is there? Because of the waiting period or credit is there. The buyer has taken possession of the goods and now the risk is there because payment has to come. So in this changing scenario, what is happening that earlier days, the risk was, we were talking about commercial risk, like risk of non-payment by the buyer. The reason maybe they are not paying on the due date, means default is there. Or other reason will be like non-acceptance of the goods. Goods has reached, but they are not coming forward for accepting the goods. So in that case, your stake is there, means exporters' stake will be there. They are waiting for payment, but they are not in a position to take possession of the goods, so they are not paying. So this is again. So other than that, LC opening bank risk, LC opening bank insolvency and default risk may be there. So these are all like commercial risks which we are talking. But due to this change in the economic scenario, what is happening now that strategic risk has come forward. Political risks, a lot of political risk has is there. Political risk, if you talk about, then what is happening that suppose suddenly there is a ban on a particular commodity. So the shipment is on high sea and the ban is there. So now either exporter has to bring the goods back to India or the goods is to be resold. Then there may be another thing like suddenly some embargo is there. The goods is in high sea, but it cannot be shipped, means delivered to the consignee because of the ban on that particular commodity. So these are the political situations which may be there, which may be the cause of the non-payment or non-acceptance. So these are all, and other than that, nowadays what is happening that these trade agreements and all, what the government is doing, that they are strategically building the position of the country so that there is more trade between the country. But due to this strategic position and changing scenario, what is happening that and due to tariff, we particularly we can see that the exports of like, let us say that textile exports to USA is now greatly affected. So a lot of exporters has, particularly to US market, they have lost business with their traditional buyers or traditional, so where they have to now sell. So that is the problem. So strategically, this government is now in a move to make build up so that those lost grounds can be like filled by some other buyers of some other countries. So that is the way of reducing that imbalance which has been caused due to the tariffs. So, but ultimately, this exporter is now going to face a new customer of a new country altogether. So the assessment of the buyer and country is now like it should be like it is to be done by more care, because on the other side the buyers are also new of a new destination country. So there is a trust deficit, means trust is not there. So chances of both sides, like whether it is an importer or whether it is an exporter, so chances of default may be there. So to avoid such scenario, everybody is like behind what to do. So that is also like a question. But ultimately, what is happening now? The traditional risks which was there of commercial reasons that has been like replaced by that commercial risk is still there. It is not like that it is not there. But along with commercial risks, the assessment of the political risk, the assessment of the country risk, or that political risk. So these things should also be taken care when we are doing or trading with in international market with some other buyers. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Hello. Thank you. This brings me to Anil ji again. Sir, from a banking and credit perspective, how is this global VUCA, we are discussing all day through, this VUCA environment influencing capital availability and also the risk appetite of financial institutions supporting cross-border businesses like your bank?
So first, this capital availability. If you see the top 10 banks worldwide, they are having the position of $250 billion, and the capital is available in banking sector, but the distribution is very selective, and that depends upon various factors, because where to deploy, that is a bank-to-bank call, internal policies, country-specific, many things are there. And when we see the risk perspective, so risk also, there are many things which are pursued for a country, whether the country, the economy is stable, the policies are stable, the guidelines are clear. Like for our gift IFSC at present, in past when some guidelines were not clear on few aspects, the momentum was not there. The moment the guidelines have become clear, the visibility of the gift increased, the investment started coming, the things started happening, and so many things contribute when we talk about risk, and sometimes it's an ongoing process. We cannot map anything which is a riskier non-riskier. It depends upon the many factors. Like some particular day some sector will be put into a restricted or stressed list. Likewise, some country, some specific sanctions will be put in. So the entire calculation goes into changes. Earlier days, we used to lend in domestic market in gems and jewelry segment heavily. So post some events, the capital or the lending towards those sectors have reduced drastically. So likewise, the capital and risk they go more and more, and like now what is available for trade, because traditional products we have tried a lot, working capital funding to these exporters. Then now the evolving products, supply chain financing, many products are there which suits to the requirement of the importer and exporter. Now if you have seen in domestic side, they have introduced products called vendor financing or dealer financing, wherein a top rated company or corporate house will give guarantee or comfort to the banks so that their distributors or suppliers can benefit. Likewise, in international scenario also, the nomenclatures are very set, but somehow these things are not picking up well, because still we have a lot of scope to do when we go about the supply chain financing. I saw somewhere it is 10 billion plus in factoring and forfeiting businesses scope is there, and so as an means in coming time when the things will be embedded in gift ecosystem amongst banks, ITFS platforms, and factoring companies, we'll have a lot of businesses to do for importer as well as exporters. The present things, if I would like to highlight, is we deal only in documents. There is nothing available with us for cross-border verification. So for creating the trust system and to have a commonness in all entities, things are under progress, and I hope it will be better in coming time. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Anilji. I would again turn to Mayurji and ask him that though you have touched it upon, but still little elaborately, can you just tell us that how technology and digitalization are transforming global supply chains? I mean, what is your take on it?
So, my take on the global supply chain and the digitalization, just to add on, what he said. So for example, I'll explain by an example. So we are working, on a use case for an automobile use case where all the stakeholder of the automobiles, like from the car manufacturer to the parts manufacturer to the bankers, are like one part of the entire data space. And it started with Germany basically, and then now it has moved to China. It has moved to all the other countries in the Europe, and then now they're also going to the US. Now, how it works basically from like the global supply chain. So, for example, if there is if let's say I have like a car of Tata, and then there is a parts manufacturer who has designed some parts, and if there is anything which happened in those parts, there is an end-to-end supply chain visibility of who built that at what period of time, and all the stakeholders are in the one data layer. So one shift which I'm able to say is more around how can we have the more digital footprint resilience across the supply chain, because that gives more visibility and more clarity to all the stakeholders. So that's like one shift. Another shift is more around the uh, AI based compliance processes. So because of the geopolitical stand, compliance and the rules gets changed frequently, and practically it's very difficult, for large corporates and the smaller ones to cop up. Again, by giving an example, for example, recently in US they have some laws regulations where every company has to complete something in like 60 days, where like a lot of vendors are involved. Now, in order to even figure out which all vendors are involved, if they don't leverage AI, it's practically very difficult. So the second step, which I'm able to see from the digitalization point of view, is leveraging AI for means any process with there's a lot of manual intervention. And third, more from the means carbon footprint point of view, even though like in the European part it has stopped, but like globally it's still the question which comes, like what actually it means, because the language has changed. So there's a lot of, I would say, confusion around that, but that is also an equation which the global means enterprise are trying to figure out from the digitalization point of view. So these are the three observations from my experience.
Okay, okay. So something which was hello, hello. Oh, so something which was hitherto unconceivable, now it is happening with the help of AI. I mean, that's what you're saying. Manually, which is not possible, but AI is, actually implementing it.
Yeah, so again, to give you an example, let's say for example RBI changes some laws as an example, and then there are banks and then there are end customers. Now practically not possible to just look at all the laws every time, and then even if they change, what are the impacts, what enterprise needs to do. So for example, AI can be, means they are leveraging AI in order to, okay, there are changes, these are the 5 things you need to do, and these 5 things can be done by ABCDE. Because what happens is that even to figure out what needs to do and then who is going to help is a bigger task. So this is how, because that's how the means the supply chain does, because I'm talking about the big corporates. And even the smaller one impacts, because what happens is that they don't have that ecosystem and the bandwidth and the resources to have that in the runtime. So that's what the context is.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, Shri A, I would ask you how this new era of trade fragmentation, forcing an evaluation in India's tax and regulatory approach, especially for international financial services. I would like to have your view on this.
Sure. See, firstly, if you look at the fragmentation which is happening globally, every country is trying to respond in their own way. All of them want to kind of attract foreign capital into the country. And therefore, what is happening is their domestic law is going through changes, which kind of makes it easier for foreign investors to come in. I'll give you a few examples. Say, let's look at Gift City IFSC itself. The way IFSC is developed, it is developed as a gateway for financial capital into India. The regulations which they have built in, these are already benchmarked to global standards. So when they were coming up with this banking regulation, or they were coming with the asset management regulation, they looked at what Singapore is doing, what Dubai is doing, and they tried to learn from them, because those jurisdictions are attracting a lot of capital, right? A lot of foreign money is coming there. So they consciously moved away from looking at SEBI domestic regulator. They looked at international regulator to see what we can learn from them. So some of those changes have been brought in because of that. Let's look at SEBI itself. You have foreign portfolio investors who are coming into India or investing. If you talk to any foreign portfolio investor, FPI, their biggest concern will be, or biggest complaint will be, that India is a very difficult market. Getting registrations into India takes ages. KYC processes are long. Investment onboarding takes long. Banks take long time for you to be onboarded. So that's been their traditional or age-old complaint. So SEBI obviously has been constantly relooking at their regulation. They have done an update of their KYC regulation. They have done update of their FPI regulation, and they are focusing on ease of doing business in India. So if you look at that, so similarly, if you look at, say, income tax today, when you file your tax return, everything is digital, right? If you and many of the young folks would not know, but people on the table will probably know, we used to actually file returns by writing it manually. That was the time when we used to actually go to the tax office and actually file those and get acknowledgement from them, all of that. And see today how things have really changed. Things have completely changed. Everything is digitalized, right? So every country is kind of wanting to change their processes, adopt more and more of digitalization to actually attract foreign capital. So I think that's what probably is happening within India as well as within GIFT City.
Okay. And this is for you to summarize, sir.
Thank you so much. There is such an expert panel, so knowledgeable people. So, my task is very, very difficult. And, remembering is very difficult because when the age grows, your memory loses. And, it's very good that you lose the memory. If you remember everything, then you become mad. And therefore, because, in the old age, the problem increases. And therefore, we lose the memory. So now coming is, I think, amazing. You talked about digitalization. India's digitalization is just amazing. No country, the price of the internet in India is cheapest on the earth. And it can be compared with any other country. You talk of bank, you put so many of the trouble. Go to Switzerland, it takes 6 weeks to open an account. In America, it takes 6 to 7 weeks in opening an account. We open an account on click of the mouse. We need not go anywhere. It is so customer friendly, nowhere else on the earth. So I think try to identify our goodness. हिंदुस्तान में भिखारी भी जो है ना वो पेटीएम पे एक्सेप्ट करता है, पूरी दुनिया में कहीं ऐसा नहीं होता. एंड वी टॉट देम, पहले तो कार्ड देते थे सब जगह. In other places you forget the card is not required. India was probably among the first countries which introduced, your face is your boarding pass. आप चले जाओ सीधे धां घुस जाइए एयरपोर्ट के ऊपर. Nothing is required. And I tell you the scale of India. दिल्ली के अंदर जो मेट्रो का साइज, it is double the size in Singapore, whole country. Just look at the scale. We have got metros across 100 cities. India has got, airport structure probably among the best in the world. आपका ये अहमदाबाद का एयरपोर्ट is better than in physical infrastructure facilities in better than any other airport. यूरोप के एयरपोर्ट तो बाबा आदम के ज़माने के हैं. Our technology is very good. China is good, but we are also good. China is amazing. क्योंकि चाइना की क्या है कि जैसे शंघाई के अंदर जो ट्रेन लाइन है 450 किलोमीटर पर आवर की स्पीड है. चाइना द एवरेज ट्रेन स्पीड इज 300, हमारी 60. So I think you need to be judicial, you need to understand what is good and what is bad. But our adaptation of technology is just amazing. And you started with the geopolitical volatility. Volatility is probably going to stay. Something which is going to be very stable is instability. Something which is going to be very certain is uncertainty. And few weeks back, I wrote an article that Donald Trump is very predictable of his unpredictability. वो क्या बोले किसी को नहीं पता है. अच्छा गलत बोल रहा हूँ तो बताएं आप. But in business and marketing, we call it external factors. So we need to prepare ourselves to respond these external factors very, very effectively. Indian banking system is much better than the Chinese banking system. Our banking system is much more stronger than the Russian banking system. हमारा banking इतना खराब नहीं है, बहुत अच्छा है, बहुत अच्छा है. And when it comes to digitization, 130, 140 million, 1.44 मिलियन हमारे पास के अंदर आधार कार्ड है. इतना पब्लिक में डेटा कहीं नहीं है दुनिया में. सब कुछ अब डिजी वो है हमारे पास का डिजी लॉकर है. न आपको कहीं लाइसेंस कैरी करना पड़ता है, न आपको कहीं आइडेंटिटी कैरी करनी पड़ती है. उसमें ये कि कोई आधार बहुत सारे फर्जी भी हैं. ऑल ऑफ अस नोज इट. अच्छा, जैसे अमेरिका में इलीगल माइग्रेंट के रोक लगाया ट्रम्प साहब ने, तो उनका एग्रीकल्चर बंद हो गया. उनको कहा तुम चले जाओ. हमारे यहाँ भी ऐसा है. हमारे गुड़गांव में जितनी हमारे घर में काम वाली काम करती थी, वो कहाँ से आती थी आपको पता है? अभी SIR में उन पे बैन लग गया है, तो काम वालियों का काल पड़ गया है हिंदुस्तान में. बिकॉज दैट द इकोनॉमिक्स, इट वर्क्स. वो तो फ्री काम करते हैं. हमारे यहाँ जो कचरा उठाने वाला आता है, वो जमादार उसको सबलेट कर देता है. सो देयर 10 पीपल हु आर टेकिंग कचरा. मैंने पूछा भाई कितने पैसे मिलते हैं? सब पैसे नहीं मिलते, कचरे में से ही हम बेच के खा लेते हैं. दे विल डू इट 2-4 years एंड देन दे बिकम द सिटीजन. इट इज़ व्हाट इज हैपनिंग. सो अब आधार कार्ड है, उसकी ऑथेंटिसिटी क्या है वो एक अलग बात है, बट वी हैव गॉट सिस्टम इन प्लेस. एंड बैंकिंग सिस्टम पूरी दुनिया में कहीं ऐसा खट खट खट. आई वॉज लास्ट वीक, एक मैं मुंबई में था कॉन्फ्रेंस में. एक लोग स्विट्जरलैंड से आए कि साहब हमारे यहाँ तो अकाउंट ही नहीं खुलता 6 हफ्ते तक. नो इनकम टैक्स ऑफिसर कैन कॉल यू. सारा उसको ऑनलाइन करना पड़ता है. सो मच ऑफ द ट्रांसपेरेंसी. इनकम टैक्स in Canada, 85% people are covered by income tax. Income tax rate even 30-35% in India is cheaper than most developed countries. तो पता है क्या, मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि once you benchmark our situation with other countries, you will know how our bank officials are much more efficient than Russian and Chinese officers. उनका साइज बड़ा हो सकता है. So I think we need to learn to live in, volatility, because and AI is a great tool to overcome this volatility. मैं मेरे प्रोफेसर को भी कहता हूँ कि ये डेटा करते हैं दुनिया भर, कोई डेटा जैसे आप लोग इकट्ठा करते हो कोई जर्नल से, इससे उससे, अरे दिस ऑल बिकम ऑब्सोलेट. यू हैव टू वर्क ऑन टाइम डेटा. एंड आवर एस्टिमेशन बेस्ड ऑन 10 साल का 15 साल का, इट डज नॉट हेल्प. फोरकास्ट इज इन माई व्यू ड्राइविंग ए कार लुकिंग एट द बैक सीट. Of no use. And therefore this the capability of processing vast amount of data is, we need to leverage that. और वो मुझे लगता है बैंकों को भी हमारे को चाहिए. इंश्योरेंस, ECGC, just you need to compare the size of ECGC and other insurance companies in other part of the world, then you will know the difference. So I think miles to go, but I'm very optimistic. We are only very, very strong footing. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your summarization. And let me move on to our India's strategic position and the role of the gift city part. Let me come to Piyush again.
अरे थोड़ा change कर लो तो पता है it has become so predictable that you are asking this way.
Okay, sir.
Your choice.
Yes, sir, sure. I mean, fine, no issues, sir. So let me start with Suresh this time. Sir, in this VUCA world, the greatest commodity is stability. India and Gift City have a window of opportunity to position themselves not just as alternative but as a predictable and secure hub of global commerce. So your take on this, sir. I mean, what do you see our Gift City in next 3 to 5 years? Just your imagination, sir.
Yeah. So I think while the Gift City and IIFT initiative is certainly great, it is first time which India has conceptualized something like this. And as sir was saying, there is still a long journey. There is a long way to go for us to really mature or emerge as a mature IFSC or a mature Gift City. So firstly, I think we need a lot more depth in IFSC. Today we have say 1,000 entities. If I compare that with say Dubai or Singapore, they probably are at 10,000 or 15,000 or maybe 20,000 entities, right? So that's the kind of depth we are kind of looking at here. So with 1,000 again spread across different industries, banks, asset management, insurance, all of them put together 1,000. So one, we currently lack depth, and over the next 3 to 5 years, probably we need to work on that part. Second is from a credibility standpoint. Uh, we need to emerge as a credible jurisdiction. And when I say credible, I mean more from a stability standpoint. Mayur mentioned about changes in the regulation, and he said if there's a change in regulation, AI can quickly find out what the change is and all that, which is good from a technology standpoint. But if you look at it from a international, say, investor standpoint, they don't want change so often, right? They want stability, they want predictability in their whole, say, when they are looking at investment. And look at the kind of change India keeps bringing in terms of regulation, in terms of tax and all that. So that's something which probably needs to change. And if that happens, we probably will be positioned much better. We have the potential, but to realize that potential, I think we need to offer a more stable, predictable environment.
Okay, sir. Okay. I would like to change the sequence and again go to Mayurji. Mayurji, the same question, but I would like to phrase it in a different context. The world's leading financial hubs dominate not just because of capital, but because of unparalleled trade facilitation, seamless, digital, and efficient, whatever you say. For Gift City to compete with Singapore or Dubai, don't you think it must build a superior technology-led user experience? So, what's your take on this? Or I mean, to put it differently, I would ask you that how can digital platforms and trade tech ecosystems built in Gift City can help India to offer world-class trade facilitation compared to global standards like Dubai, Singapore? What is your take on it? What is your opinion on it, experience?
Sure. So basically, in order to have gift as a world standard than what already exists in the world, I think if you look at our, India's tech, for example, like, let's say Aadhaar, UPI, our banking infrastructure. I think all this tech, which is like an asset of the country, and if that gets unified and gets leveraged, and if you understand from like gift point of view, how gift can have such tech. So for example, how gift can be API first, because what happens is the international trade, that if you are able to give data to the parties in the format they need, is what gift can adopt, which can be like very unique. It's an API first approach. How gift can be like have an EI first approach. So for example, like any entity registered here and any compliance point of view, if anyone wants to get an access, how gift internally leveraging AI can be the second biggest thing across the world. Because what happens is that DIFC or Singapore or London, they have been built using the old methodology, and gift being the fresh, can think of next 10, 20, 30 years. So that's another approach which gift can take. Third, the gift, according to me, which can be like a very big factor, is that how can it be like globally interconnected. The meaning of that is that the means whoever becomes part of the gift indirectly gets connected to the global players. So again, in the digital first approach is what so I think these are the three approach, or I would say there are the three things which, like, if gift can accommodate, can be an I would say globally it will be very difficult. The another reason is India's tech, because we have so much depth in our means, for example, if you talk about the banking infrastructure, if you talk about the digital identity, if you talk about the uh, UPI and a lot of other tech which already is being built. For example, Rupee. Now this take we can take to the world, is what according to me can be really well.
Okay, okay. Thank you. Let me come to Anilji next. So Anilji, the last question to you. I mean, GIFT City aims to be the India's financial gateway, right? So how banks can operate within GIFT City, contributing the strengthening India's role in global trade and finance and supply chain financing? Your just wish list. I mean, not necessarily you have to, but you can just what you think like I should do.
First thing which I have observed in last 2.5 years at GIFT City, this talent creating and retaining. I see many people from Mumbai, they do not want to come to GIFT City because of various factors, personal, professional, lifestyle, many things. So we need to create a talent pool. Lot of things are being done, but that is the need of our, because if a skilled person is sitting on a desk, he can solve many things across boards. But suppose if a person who is not aware about the product, basic knowledge he is not having, so everything if he himself will learn and then deliver, it will take a long time. So this is one of the requirement. Another thing is we are talking about onshoring the offshoring. See, whatever things have moved to other jurisdictions or other financial service centers, that we want to bring it to India, especially to our GIFT IFSC. So the parallel ecosystem we need to create. And while creating, we need to have some edge. If suppose the same thing is available in India and available in other center, why people would like to come here? So in this, I will add one thing. Our like 85, most of the Indian fleets which are operated, airlines, they are taken on a lease basis. And that lease structure is designed by Ireland. So why? Because of the legal and other taxation benefits available in that jurisdiction. Same setup has been created in our GIFT IFSC for aviation entities. And we from Bank of India, we have funded for this aviation assets, for commercial aircrafts, for private jets, for helicopters. So by doing this, what we are creating, the funds are being, the revenues generated from this leasing business are kept in India only, which are going to Ireland for years together. So this is just beginning. And the expansion which the airline industries requires for coming years is huge. Right now the situation is such that we want to order for air fleets, but no manufacturers are available to deliver you on time. Suppose if you want to purchase some aircraft, you order today, and when you will get, there is no certainty, maybe 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. So many things are there. People are ready to buy second-hand aircrafts, but those are also not available. So this is a very, very big business. This is just one of the example. Like this, shipping is there, and many other businesses are there. So this ecosystem we need to create. We need to create with the edge, and with regard to the supply chain financing business, we need to build the entire ecosystem. And for that, the utmost important thing is digitalization and the data. Because right now many platforms, the onboarding is done again and again by the customers. So you being sitting in GIFT, having the IIFT talent, you can develop on some new ventures wherein a common platforms can be used by all the parties and can have the flexible business for them. And another thing is, from banking side, when we are connected through various channels. One channel you would have heard is Swift. So for Swift also there are various versions. The prime banks are using prime version of Swift. The normal banks are using normal version of Swift. So like if not here, when we say send some message or some money, it gets reflected on the very next day or after 10, 12 hours. But prime banks, they are able to see right now where the fund it is. So this kind of services we need to adopt in our gift ecosystem. In this chain, I would like to add one thing. There is one system is going to come, FCSS, Foreign Currency Settlement System, wherein the funds amongst IB units will be transferred, reflected, settled in a second of time. Like what we have in domestic NEFT and RTGS, the similar system is going to have in for banking system as well. So if any customer who is transferring from one banking unit to another banking unit, it will be reflected. Right now, the thing is, like if some amount is coming and I need to pay to Bank of Baroda, fund will go first to USA or wherever I am maintaining the account. From there, it will get reflected and then it will come to here. So it is not the easy. Every time the fund goes from one country to another country, the compliance checks are there, country specific regulations are there, reporting are there, so many things are there. So getting the clearance is not easy. With this kind of systems, we'll be having edge in coming time. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And Piyush ji, I would like to ask you the similar vein that as India aspires to become a reliable global trading partner of the world, what reforms or innovations in credit, export credit and insurance can strengthen that, India's global credibility and competitiveness? I mean, your wish list. I mean, what do you think that these are the things that needs to be strengthened, and for that we will really become a global partner.
The first and foremost thing is that that awareness about that insurance, it is still very low in India if we compare to some other part of the world. So in India, that self-insurance, people feel self-insurance we can do, those who are capable, those who are very big customers. And many customers, they are not aware about that this such facility is there. So awareness is the key. Awareness, we have to make the people aware, more and more aware. ECGC also is making a lot of awareness campaign in that regard. And other than that, sharing of information between different stakeholders, like suppose we have a database which can be shared among different, our policy holders or our banks who are our clients, those who they can view the real-time basis our BSL list, means buyer specificable, means default list in simple language we can say. So that list can be checked online. It is always maintained, updated at regular, means a daily basis it is maintained. So other than that, those trade promotion councils are also key in that regard. These agencies can very well share information about different buyers or different markets, because that awareness can come easily from those associations, because one or the other, all exporters are a member of one or more councils. So council party's importance is also there. Then comes the product part. So product definitely should be there. It should be cost effective, premium should be cost effective, so that there is not a burden for them. So we have like ECGC also is having product for that commodity. So we are covering almost all commodities, like whether it is manufacturing goods or whether it is ID enabled services, whether the goods are going on consignment basis. So for that also, whether the goods are, means whether the transaction happening based on the services. So for services, we are also covering. And particularly from GIFT IFSC, we have also started our cover in USD. So from here, we are giving coverage in USD. Then we have also started giving cover to factoring. Those who are factors, we have also started giving cover to them, because ultimately what happens that any exporter, they have to take finance from one or other bank. So in for DTA, means our domestic area, it is already there. ECIB cover it is the name of export credit insurance for banks. It is already there. In DTA, we have also started giving cover to factors, means if they are providing this export finance for, means factoring services for the export purpose. So in that case, our cover is there, specific cover for factoring services is there. And other than that, we have also started reinsurance business from here. So we have taken a lot of steps. We have, as a ECA, we have product which can cover a single consignment or a single buyer or a whole turnover basis. So it is like that. So we have designed a lot of things. And other than that, we can say that we have also to be like more dependent, means our IT infrastructure should be well developed, because ultimately we are means export credit insurance cover is a service product only. So we have to, means any ECA has to like build their infrastructure so that the customer has no hassles. They can purchase the policy online, they can update the policy requirements online, and they can also like get the documents online. So it is like that. And then comes like due to this changing scenario, as we have already discussed that there is now more risk. Risk has increased from commercial to political, and then it is also based on the strategic or the relationship of different countries of the world with India. So in that case, as a single insurer or a country of a specific means as an Indian insurer, we cannot do all the things. So we have also taken means association with some other reinsurers who are based in other countries of the world, or we have also to take help of other ECAs who are based in other parts of the world. So that association with other ECA, other reinsurance companies, it is also very much required, because as we are perceiving that risk is going to increase. So if risk is going to increase, means that the underwriting capacity of a single insurer may be not enough. So due to that regard, that more associations are required. So with that, I will just end my this one, and thank you IIFT for inviting me, and so that I got opportunity for meeting with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And lastly, I would ask VC sir to conclude, sir, your concluding remarks.
No, thank you, sir. Thank you each one of you for being with us. Shri ji, Piyush ji, Suresh ji, and Mayur. Thank you for being with us. And Gift City. Dekho, there is a saying, well begin is half done. At least in India, we thought of a place with a holistic approach to the financial services. We included the banking services, the insurance services, the leasing services, where we talked about, the aircraft leasing, vessel leasing, foreign exchange, bullion. At least we thought of it. And this is probably the first center which came in India with a holistic approach, no other place. And, when you start a new thing, there will be a problem. पहले दिन आपको ऐसे नहीं लगेगा कि सीधा रसगुल्ला मिल जाएगा. उसके लिए पहले आपको गाय पालनी पड़ेगी, दूध बनाना पड़ेगा, उसको तुलना पड़ेगा, then only rasgulla will come at the end. And therefore, who knows better than my IIFT student that what problems they are facing? क्योंकि पहला बैच है, खाने के लिए जगह नहीं है, हॉस्टल नहीं है, आप देख रहे हैं वो बड़ा कठिन परिस्थिति में है, तप कर रहे हैं, तप means heat. They are facing the heat. Similarly, you are facing the heat. And therefore, IIFT is one. वो आपको इस हीट से तार सकता है. Because I have a faculty which is specialized in the area of your interest. He was very right. SWIFT. You know SWIFT? International Banking Transaction. अमेरिका चलाता है. स्विट्जरलैंड. अभी आपने ये कहा कि रशिया को स्विफ्ट से अलग कर दिया. The whole transaction stopped. रशिया के पास खूब सारे डॉलर है, आपने कहा तुम्हारी डॉलर कल से बेकार हो गई. And therefore, people went to explore what is alternate to SWIFT. We went to explore de-dollarization. अमेरिका कहता है कि अगर ब्रिक्स में तुम de-dollarization करोगे तो हम तुम पे ड्यूटी लगा देंगे, will not buy. And today, so these international situations are very favorable to India. America, the greatest asset of America is not its economic power. The greatest trust of America was trust. The greatest asset of America was trust, and that they are very speedily losing. आपका पैसा अमेरिका में सुरक्षित है, आपको नहीं पता. स्विफ्ट सुरक्षित है. स्विफ्ट was because it gave you guarantee. You do not know. डॉलर में asset सुरक्षित है. You do not know. And therefore, alternate currencies are coming. Alternate, systems are coming, where immediately these transactions takes place. And therefore, हिंदुस्तान के तो रुपए में थोड़ी सी अभी क्या है कि इकोनॉमिक साइज इज प्रॉब्लम. चाइना युआन विल नॉट बिकम बिकॉज ऑफ वी डू नॉट नो हाउ द करेंसी इज बीइंग मॉनिटर. हम तो नहीं होंगे. एंड देयरफॉर डी-डॉलराइजेशन इज नॉट वेरी इजी. Easier said than done. Euro, another currency came big, became strong. अरे एक जमाने में तो British pound was the strongest. So last 70 years pound has gone and dollar has come. हाँ क्या हो गया? हाँ ब्रिटन वुड, हाँ छोड़ दो यार, वो पुराने से कुछ नहीं होगा. हे रिमेंबर द ब्रिटन वुड, वो हो गया. अभी तो मैंने सुना है वो बिटकॉइन्स आ गया, न्यू करेंसी इज कमिंग. आई एम टोल्ड दैट द mightiest people do have special interest in bitcoins. Only finance people know, I do not know. And where ignorance is bliss, it is fully to be wise. So I want not to remain very knowledgeable about that, but I am told so. So क्या है कि ये धरती बदलती रहती है, स्थिर नहीं होती है. जातस्य ही ध्रुव मृत्यु, ध्रुवम जन्म मृतस्य च. जो आइडिया आज आया वो कल खत्म हो जाएगा और नया आइडिया फिर आएगा. एक जमाने के अंदर ब्रिटेन जो है, इट वाज द किंग इन द ट्रेड. ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी वंस अपॉन ए टाइम कंट्रोल 3/4 ऑफ द वर्ल्ड ट्रेड. पता है ना आपको? वो एक ऐसी कंपनी थी जिसकी अपनी करेंसी भी थी. नो मल्टीनेशनल ऑफ टुडे कैन कैश ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी. ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी वो कंपनी थी जिसका प्रशासन भी था. वो कंपनी थी ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी जिसके पास आर्मी भी थी. आप समझ गए? ट्रेड खाली बातों से नहीं होता है. कोई ना करे तो शूट कर दो उसको. I am told many private banks in which many of you are working, they have got recovery agents who shoot. गलत बता रहा हूं तो बताओ, but everybody know. And do you know who is owner of East India Company today? It's an Indian. ऐसे धरती बदल जाती है. We are in the verge of transformation, and with this great idea, अगर छोटे कॉन्टेक्स्ट में लेते हो तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि अगले 10 साल के अंदर my prediction, and I'm a Joshi, Joshi means Joshi, and Joshi comes from Jyoti, the person who has got light. So with my little light, I can tell you that it will give a tough competition to Mumbai as a financial capital in next 10 years. ऐसा मुझे लगता है. I may be wrong, which I am most of the time. और अगर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर यहाँ का ठीक हुआ, because Mumbai is having its own problem. आजकल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर थोड़ा अच्छा हो गया. मुंबई इज हैविंग इट्स ओन प्रॉब्लम. दिस एंड यू सी द आइडिया केम 20 years बिफोर, इवन 25 years बिफोर. इसका तो आइडिया बहुत पहले आया. अच्छा, इसलिए इम्प्लीमेंटेशन में टाइम लगता है. तो अभी जैसे साहब आए थे, वो बता रहे थे, ही वाज द CEO ऑफ दैट गांधीनगर डेवलपमेंट. तो वो ये लोग फ्रस्ट्रेट होते हैं कभी कभी कि जल्दी नहीं हो रहा है. तो टाइम लगता है, बट मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि द वे द कंसर्टेड इफर्ट्स आर, अरे एटलीस्ट ऑल द प्रोफेशनल्स आर हियर. आप एक दूसरे से बात कर सकते हैं. यू कम आउट विद न्यू आइडियाज ऑल द टाइम. यू हैव अपॉर्चुनिटी टू शिफ्ट फ्रॉम जॉब A टू जॉब B. यहीं पे बहुत सारे यहाँ से छोड़ के वहाँ चले गए. शादी तो करनी लिया आपने, और आजकल तो शादी भी ऐसे ही हो गया, मैंने सुना. पीपल से सो, एंड दे आर फॉर नाउ जॉब इज नॉट लाइक मी कि you join a job and you retire from there. This generation will not do it. People have learned how to live in instability. लेकिन I am very optimistic about it. Given the intrinsic strength of India, and more so the intrinsic strength of this place. The richest people in the country comes only from the land of Gujarat. वो अलग बात है कि कुछ ना घर बम्बई में बना लिया है, शायद वो दोबारा शिफ्ट हो जाए यहाँ पे if Gift City comes. So I think I am very very optimistic about it. It's a great concept. तो आप लोग हताश ना हो जो समस्याएं हैं, and it will come. Thank you so much. Wish you all the best. नमस्कार. Thank you, Kaushik, so much.
Thank you, sir.
Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Bhattacharya, for moderating a deeply insightful conversation. We extend our sincere appreciation to all our panelists for sharing their perspectives. We will now take a moment to express our appreciation to the esteemed panel members through the presentation of mementos. To begin, may I request our Public Policy Club Coordinator, Mr. Akshash Pathak, to kindly present the memento to Rakesh Mohan Joshi in recognition. Okay, sir.
May I request our supply chain coordinator, Mr. Simranjeet Singh, to present the memento to Mr. Piyush Kumar Pankaj, acknowledging his insightful inputs and participation. We are grateful, sir, for your meaningful engagement.
Now I request our Finance Policy Club Coordinator, Mr. Aditya Solanki, to offer the memento to Mr. Anil Dangi as a mark of our sincere appreciation for his thoughtful reflections. Thank you, sir, for enriching the dialogue with your expertise.
Moving ahead, may I call upon our Marketing Club Coordinator, Sahil Mishra, to present the memento to Mr. Suresh Swami, appreciating his valuable viewpoints ahead shared this afternoon.
We truly appreciate your distinguished presence, sir. Now I invite our Consulting Club Coordinator, Ms. Anamika Verma, to present the memento to Mr. Mayur Pabri, acknowledging his contribution to the deliberation. Thank you, sir. Now, may I request our Public Policy Club Coordinator, Mr. Akshansh Pathak, to kindly present the memento to Dr. Rakesh Mohan Joshi in recognition of his valuable contribution to today's discussion. Thank you, sir, for honoring us with your perspective.
With this, we extend our heartfelt appreciation to all our panelists for their time, insights, and continued support. We thank all the speakers for contributing to the success of AAROHAN. As we move towards the conclusion of today's conclave, I take this moment to extend our sincere appreciation to all the dignitaries, panelists, faculty members, organizers, volunteers, and attendees for their valuable presence and engagement. To formally express our collective gratitude, may I now invite our Joint Vice President of Student Body, IIFT Gift City, Mr. Karan Dua, to deliver the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Indian Institute of Foreign Trade, I am pleased to formally conclude today's event. We are grateful to our Vice Chancellor, Dr. Rakesh Mohan Joshi, and our campus head, Dr. Ashish Pandey, for their guidance, which have been central to shaping this edition of AAROHAN. The insights shared by our panelists enrich today's discussion, and we truly value the perspectives they brought to the platform. We also appreciate the presence of all our distinguished guests whose involvement added significance to the event. I would also like to recognize the efforts of all our faculty members, the administration, and all supporting teams for ensuring a smooth and well-coordinated experience. And finally, my heartfelt appreciation to the organizing committee members, followed by all the students whose hard work and enthusiasm made this event possible. Thank you and have a wonderful day ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Dua. With this, we formally conclude today's proceedings. We now invite all our guests and participants to join us for lunch. Wishing everyone a pleasant and fulfilling afternoon. Thank you.
इसी चीज ना फॉर लॉन्ग